Julia. Shit. You know that moment when you realize you fucked up? Yeah, that's where I'm at currently. I fucked up big time, and it's time to pay the piper.
Julia, you've been warned about this before.
I know, Mr. Thompson, I say with my head down.
We can't allow it. You've ignored company policy again.
Yes, sir, I say. I'm sorry, sir. Kind of.
Julia...
Mr. Thompson sighs.
We have to let you go. Please clean out your locker and see Marie, who will settle your last check. Thank you for your years of work here, and I'm sorry it had to end on a bad note. If you ever need a referral, please let me know. I won't mention this last incident.
Thank you, Mr. Thompson, I say, and bite back a sniffle. I won't cry. Not over this stupid job. Mr. Thompson is the owner, and I've been working at this deli since high school. I worked my way up, and after I graduated from college with my degree last summer, I became manager. The problem is, the deli became part of a franchise 6 months ago. Almost for as long as I've been here, at the end of each shift, I've taken the leftover food, the food that's now supposed to be thrown away, according to company policy, to people who need it at the mission. Mr. Thompson looked the other way for a while, until a corporate fucktard showed up one week. Suddenly, it became an issue, and the next thing I know, there are security cameras everywhere. I refused to stop, though. Hell, I even dumpster dived to get the food, just on principle. What kind of policy is it to terminate a loyal employee over feeding homeless people what they consider garbage anyway? I shake my head and throw my apron into my locker. It takes moments to toss the few belongings into my large bag. By the time I hit Marie's small closet of an office, I manage to pull myself together. Marie's face matches my mood, sad and anger. "Those assholes," she says. "Marie?" I glance around, then give the camera in the hall a stern look. Who knows if those things are wired for sound? You don't want to lose your job on my account. She sighs. You're right. It's just so damn frustrating, though. It is. But I stand by my actions. I'll be okay, I assure her. She grimaces as she hands me my last check. Opening the envelope, I understand why. Shit, I say, no longer caring about professionalism within these walls. You deferred last month's student loan payment from your check, so they deducted double on this one. I'm sorry I couldn't stop them, especially now. Marie's words rush out in explanation. Marie, I interject. It's okay. It's not your fault. It's mine. Well, that and shitty timing. You take care. You have my cell number. Please keep in touch. Marie smiles through her tears. Take care, Julia. You deserve better than this place anyway. I give her a quick hug. Thanks, Marie. I'll be seeing you. I walk out without a backward glance. Maybe Marie's right. When one door closes, another opens, right? Once home in my apartment, I turn the $76 and change check in my hands. I'm willing it to, but as it faces me, the figure never changes. I compare the amount to the stack of bills sitting on my table. There's no competition. Even when I add the paltry $347 in my checking account, there's no way I'll be able to pay everything. I can't even make rent. As for my savings account, I don't even have one. Not with all the debt I still have from student loans. Surely my degree will come in handy now, though. That non-community college I paid out my ass for should be marketable somewhere. I'll start a search right away. Brush up my resume. I'll be okay. 3 weeks later.
Is that the last of it?
My dad asks, as I haul the remainder of my possessions into the hallway of my childhood home. Yeah, thanks again, Dad. 3 stupid weeks is all it takes for me to go crawling home with my tail between my legs. My father's always been easy on me, so he was quick to settle my debts and offer to take me in. He even got me out of my lease, something I'm very grateful for. He was able to help, but he's not in any kind of position to support me indefinitely in my own place. It's hard to return home. Well, to my dad's place. I can't really call it home anymore, since I left to make my own way in the world, and it's more than just admitting defeat. It's like a huge life fail. Overall, it blows. Regardless, I'm so grateful. I could be in a much worse position if he hadn't stepped in, and as the beginning of my thank you to him, I tell him I'll cook tonight, and tomorrow, and the next night. Geez, maybe I'll even become a great chef with the amount of cooking I see ahead of me. I'm sure he could use some good home-cooked food. I'll bet he's been eating TV dinners every night of the week since I last visited him. It doesn't take me long to whip something up. Juicy burgers with toasted fries and coleslaw. Hardly fine dining, I know, but still one of his favorites. Dad eats heartily, and he seems genuinely pleased to have me here. We talk while we eat, about his work, what happened to me at the deli, and he's so supportive of my motives to help needy people when I can. I couldn't ask for a better father than him.
You did the right thing, Julia,
he says, covering my hand with his and smiling at me with those soft brown eyes of his.
You've got nothing to be ashamed of, and your mother, God rest her soul, would have been so proud of you. Heck, I'm proud of you, and how you've grown up into a smart and caring young woman.
I try to fight it, but I'm overcome with emotion, and my tears start to flow, partly from hearing my father say he was proud of me, but mainly because memories of my dear, sweet mom flood into my mind. A sudden heart attack took her from us a year ago, and just when I think I'm strong and can handle it, my dad's words bring it all back into reality, that she's gone forever, and I realize I still miss her so much. Her face, her voice, her hugs and kisses. What I wouldn't give to have her back, even for one more day. Dad gets up from his chair and puts his arms around my shoulders, his head next to mine, as I wipe the tears from my face. We talk about her, and I know he still hurts so bad inside, too. We share a few stories about fun times we had when she was alive, and he gets me to laugh again through my sobs.
Come on now, Julia. She was a wonderful woman, but we still have each other. Let's clear these plates, and I'll do the dishes,
he says. No, Dad, I'll do them. I don't have a job, but you have to be up early for work tomorrow morning, I say, getting up from the table.
You sure you don't mind?
I give him a big hug, nestling my head against his chest. Honestly, I'll be fine, Dad. Good night. Sleep well, and I'll see you tomorrow when you're home.
Okay, you too,
he says as he kisses the top of my head and heads toward the door. After I wash the dishes, I tackle some of the boxes in my room. A good portion of my belongings ended up in a storage unit, but somehow a huge number of boxes still seem to take over the small second bedroom at my dad's. That's now mine again, at least temporarily. I look around, and everything looks almost exactly as it was the day I left to move into my rented apartment. The bed made, the posters still on the wall, though a little more faded from the sun that streams through the window every morning. Everything gets a place of its own, and I break down the last box. A hot shower relaxes my body, but not my mind. I lie in the small twin bed for a while, staring upward at the ceiling, and wonder what the fuck I'm going to do with my life once the sun rises. It barely takes 2 weeks before I'm officially ready to pull my hair out. This whole backstepping deal really begins to take its toll on me, and I feel like an utter failure. I hit the job search with everything I have, but it's slim pickings out there. Even with my degree in managerial experience, I've been having no luck. Either I'm underqualified or overqualified. There seems to be no middle ground I can fit into, and it frustrates the hell out of me. Each night, my dad says the same thing.
You know, they're still looking for help at my place in the office. Couldn't hurt to apply. I'd put in a good word for you.
And every night, my reply is the same. Dad, you've already saved the day. I need to do this on my own. I'm a grown woman now. He sighs and continues his meal. I do the same. Then he goes to bed, and I pick up my book. There's no cable here, let alone Wi-Fi. If I want to get on the internet, I have to take my laptop to the local coffee shop and use theirs. This afternoon, my boredom is so overwhelming. I wait for my dad to come home so I can have some human interaction. Only tonight's conversation goes a little different to normal.
Julia, you know I love you.
Dad says, "Yeah, Dad, of course I do."
Good. Now, don't you get mad, but I took one of your resumes and gave it to my boss. He wants to interview you tomorrow for a position in the company. I know you want to do this on your own and all, but everyone needs a little help sometimes, and frankly, baby girl, you're beginning to drive me nuts.
My mouth hangs. My hurt pride quickly fades while I realize he really is looking out for my best interests. Now, I'm known for having a short fuse now and again, so it's no wonder my father seems to brace himself for my response. I take a sip of my drink and clear my throat, so there's no doubt about my words. "Thanks, Dad." My answer surprises him.
You're welcome,
He says carefully, more like a question than a statement. "Dad?" I laugh. "Really, thanks. I mean it. I guess a little help isn't the worst thing in the world right now, seeing as I've drawn a blank everywhere else." Dad smiles.
You know, Julia, I'm really proud of the young woman you've become.
"Thanks, Dad." I can feel he means it. "So what time tomorrow?"
11 a.m. Do you need a ride? I can go in late and drive you.
I shake my head. "No, that's okay. I don't want to mess up your whole schedule. I'll be fine on the bus."
Okay, honey.
He takes his last bite of food and brings his plate to the sink.
Good luck and good night.
"Good night, Dad. And thank you," I say, and clear my own plate. As I wash the dishes, I consider what would be the most interview-appropriate outfit I have in my closet. Even as a manager, my last job provided a uniform. I guess I'll have to go with my black pants and white button-down shirt. If I manage to get this job, clothes shopping and much-needed retail therapy will be a must. That one outfit I've chosen is probably the only office attire that I own. Before I go to bed, I Google my dad's company, just to get an idea of what positions they're currently looking to fill. Executive assistant. That's just a fancy name for a secretary, right? I wake up early. It's my nerves. I know I shouldn't be nervous given my qualifications, but I am. I've heard a lot of thanks but no thanks lately, and it's shaken my confidence a tad. It doesn't take me long to shower. I do my hair and makeup before I dress, to stay as pristine as possible between here and there. The button-down slips on easily, and I ensure every button is properly fastened in place. I dig out some black ballet flats and go to pull my pants on when I hear it. A loud tear. Fuck. Fuck, 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 fuck. Not today, please, not today. I look. Yep. Today. My only decent pair of pants decides to shit the bed. I rack my brain for something else to wear. Anything apart from jeans. I dive into the recesses of my new closet in a desperate search and manage to pull out a couple of skirts. One is denim, so that's automatically out of the running. The other is a black knee-length pencil skirt I got for high school graduation. I wiggle into it and zip it up, praying it still fits. Whew! It does. And I shout out, "Yes!" with a big beaming smile on my face. I jump up a little from the small victory, then check the mirror to make sure my closet diving didn't mess up my put-together look. So far, so good. I gather my purse and rush out the door in a hurry. I take heavy but gentle strides to the bus stop, worrying myself sick that it might run early, or I might be late. I make it just in time, without a bead of sweat to smear my makeup. Score! 2 for Julia, 0 for the universe. I find a seat quickly and give myself a pep talk as the bus sets off. We make another stop, and I slide over to accommodate more passengers, then stare out the window. As we drive through the not-so-great part of town, I can't help but notice a group of homeless people on the side of the road as we pass. Some of them look to be my age, maybe even younger. It makes me realize again just how lucky I am to have my dad help me out so much. If it weren't for him, I could be out there along with them. It dawns on me that it's not shameful to ask for help from people who care about you when you need it, when you consider the alternatives. I don't care how stupid I feel living with my dad or taking a job he got me an interview for. I'm grateful for it. So, I'm going to stop allowing my foolish pride from impeding my progress. I'm going to go to this interview and knock their socks off. I'm not going to take no for an answer. I'm going to march in there and get that job. But only after I walk the 2 blocks back, because I just missed my stop.
Chapter 2. Griff. It's been 37 months since my divorce. That's a little over 3 years. I finally let it go somewhere in the 2nd year. I learned to swallow my pride and accept that just because she cheated and left me doesn't make me less of a man. It makes her less of a woman. Even with that knowledge, I find it hard to try again. Some women I find attractive, but none of them interest me as they should. It frustrates me because I thought for sure I'd be settled with a loving wife and family by now. I'm 35, and whenever I look in the mirror, I know I'm not getting any younger. Couple of wrinkles around the eyes and a brow that looks a little more furrowed every year. Thank God I still have all my teeth and hair, and it hasn't turned gray yet. I get to the office early. It's now my office, thanks to my dad. Stevenson Industries, Silicon Valley, California. In a nutshell, we have a lot of fingers in a lot of different pies. From manufacturing communication radios for the military to custom-built electronic equipment for a whole host of big companies worldwide. It's not exactly glamorous, but it's a super lucrative business that more than pays the bills. I like being the CEO of the company, even if I do still have to answer to my dad occasionally, since he still holds half of the company stock. You could say I'm lucky, but I've worked hard for what I have. Dad made sure of that. He's big into the work ethic. I have a sleek new Jaguar, a beautiful home in the hills, and all the trappings of success I could ever want. But they're just things. It would be nice to have someone to share it all with one day. For now, I bury myself in my work, but this whole not having an assistant thing is getting old quickly, and it's only been a few weeks. The temp agency keeps sending people who are more trouble than they're worth, or else they quit after the first day, and the applicants are mostly cringeworthy. I need a break. I just need to find one smart, organized individual with a good head on their shoulders to help me out. Is that so much to ask? Currently, apparently, it is. Right now, my desk is covered in a slew of paperwork as I try to prioritize what I need to do today. There are contracts waiting to be signed, phone calls to make to our international clients, and meetings to set up with some high-profile potential customers. And that's just scratching the surface. Bonnie on the front desk is doing her best to take some of the load off me while running the reception desk, and the secretaries in other departments are helping out too. But they can only get through so much for me without affecting their own schedules. I need my own assistant badly to handle all this stuff, and I need one quick. As I flick through a stack of papers searching for the Hughes contract, I hear a knock on my open door. I look up and see Walt Black, a long-time employee from the IT department, waiting patiently for permission to enter. "Hey, Walt, come on in. What can I do for you this morning?" I ask.
"Good morning, Mr. Stevenson," Walt says. "Sorry to trouble you. I can see you're busy, but I only need a moment of your time."
He glances at my desk and his eyes widen when he sees the total mess I'm in. "Don't worry, I'm never too busy for you guys, and I've told you before it's Griff. Drop the Mr. Stevenson stuff, okay? I'm not my dad. Now, what's on your mind?" I ask.
"Yes, Mr. Griff, and we appreciate that. You're a good man, just like your dad."
Walt clears his throat and seems a little uncomfortable. He's so not used to addressing the CEO of the company by his first name, but he continues.
"Anyway, I saw on the notice board that you're looking to hire and was wondering how it was going with finding a new assistant. My daughter recently came home. She has experience as a manager, and she has a bachelor's degree."
Great. Well, send her in, I say quickly. As you can see, I could sure use someone like her right away.
Well, I keep mentioning it to her as I think it would be right up her street, Walt says. But she's a prideful little thing, wants to do everything on her own and in her own way, but I'll keep working at it.
I recognize the trait immediately. I totally get that. I was just the same. Still am to some degree. Nothing wrong with that, and thanks, Walt. I'll let you know if the position gets filled in the meantime, though somehow I don't see that happening anytime soon.
Appreciate it,
he says. Then Walt bows out with a wave, and I return to the paper mounted on my desk to look for that darn Hughes contract that I need to sign today. It takes him almost a week, but finally Walt comes through with his daughter's resume. No photo, but I scan through it, and her credentials look impressive. She could be just what I need. I asked Bonnie yesterday to get a hold of Walt, to ask her in ASAP, and she came back to me within a few minutes to tell me to expect her for an interview this morning. I worked late and left the place in the same mess, so now I'm frantically tidying up the office before she arrives. I have a sense that this girl is going to be the perfect fit, and I don't want to scare her off before she even starts if it looks like a bomb went off on my desk. Going back to square one looking for some permanent help is not an option. Once everything is presentable, I stand back and admire my efforts for a few minutes. Yep, it's back to looking like the old man had it when this office was his. A clear desk, apart from what I need for the interview, and everything in its place. Well, in reality, everything's swept from the desk and stuffed into drawers, cupboards, and any available space I could find for now. I make fresh coffee and start preparing a sales report that ordinarily my assistant would run. Normally, it's the interviewee who's nervous before an interview, but right now it's me that's hoping Walt's daughter will be the answer to all my prayers. It sure would be nice to have some real help around here. Before I can even get into the report, there's a soft rap on the door, and Bonnie pops her head inside.
Griff, your 11 a.m. interview candidate is here. 15 minutes early, I might add.
That's a damn good sign, I say with a grin.
I couldn't agree more.
Bonnie's enthusiasm is palpable. Another good sign, I hope. Okay, I'm not quite ready to see her. Would you mind asking her to wait a few minutes while I finish up what I'm doing? Ask her to grab a coffee or something.
Sure thing,
Bonnie says as she returns to the front office. I know I'm not going to have time to concentrate on the report, so I tuck it away in a drawer and get up from my desk and turn to the window behind me. Looking out on the lake, I finish my coffee, then straighten my shirt and tie. I make my way to my office door and open it. Bonnie comes in to check I'm ready for the interview, and I give her a list of client meetings to set up for the following week. As she leaves, I step into the doorway, and I'm taken aback by what I see. When Walt said his daughter, I never imagined she would be this sexy young woman who's walking toward me. Her curves are in all the right places. She's pretty, but not fake about it. It's when she smiles that something inside me twists up. It takes everything I have in me to stop my jaw dropping, snap out of it, and offer her a handshake. Julia, it's a pleasure to meet you. I'm Griff Stevenson, I manage to say. She grabs my hand to shake it, and for a moment it feels like the world stops. A current seems to flow from her to me, and I wonder for a second if she feels it too. Her expression makes me think she does, but she quickly switches gears and responds in a thoroughly professional manner. Throughout the entire interview, I try to focus, but it's hard, and it's not the only thing that's hard. Part of the reason I can't concentrate, but somehow I make it through, asking all the right questions, and land myself a new executive assistant. I'm questioning myself that maybe I hired Julia because I'm attracted to her, but I dispel those thoughts, quickly justifying my decision, as I am in desperate need of help, and I do feel like she's perfect for the job based on her experience. Being around her all day, 5 days a week, will be a nice benefit to my work environment. I know nothing will happen between us, since she can't be older than her early 20s after all. And with looks like that, she must have her hands full with guys her own age. She's not going to look twice at a man in his mid-30s. Only time will tell if my decision is the right one. Meanwhile, I need to get my mind off her and get back to work. At least I'll try to. But Julia's smile continues to invade my mind, and the reaction I have to her and to her touch has surprised me. I shake my head to clear my thoughts. Just my luck that the first woman to really strike my interest in so long is not only too young for me, but a long-time employee's daughter, too. Not to mention the fact that she's my employee now. It's a good thing I know better, or this could easily have sexual harassment suit written all over it, and I can't imagine that going down well with the clients. Better watch your step, Griff.
Chapter 3. Julia. Dad's worked here for a long time as a technician in the IT department. Must be getting on for 10 years. It isn't my first time walking through the door, but there's certainly a much different feel now I'm grown and here for a job of my own. Nothing inside is any different than I remember, yet somehow it's slightly more intimidating today. Maybe it's just my nerves that makes everything feel more intense than usual. Bonnie, the receptionist, recognizes me right away. As I live and breathe, Julia, look how you've grown. Exactly what my grandma says every time I see her, I think to myself, though a slightly younger lady. She's always been a warm, kind character whenever I've met her, and I guess it has been a few years since we last met. Hi, Bonnie, I say with a smile. It's so nice to see you again. It's nice to see you too, Bonnie gushes. Walt, your dad, told me you were coming in, but with all the bragging he does about you, he'd never said what a beautiful woman you've turned into. I blush. Thank you, Bonnie. And yeah, that would be kind of weird if he did. I chuckle. She laughs with me and must sense my discomfort because she changes gears and checks a diary on the desk in front of her before looking back at me. Mr. Stevenson is running a little late. He's been without an assistant for weeks now, and he's in desperate need of a new one. So I do hope you're what he's looking for. It'll be fun having you around here. I'll take a seat and wait. It's no problem at all, I assure her. Wonderful. She beams at me. Bonnie has a look in her eye I can't quite put my finger on, much less understand. Help yourself to coffee, and I'll let you know when he's ready to see you. I don't want to risk spilling coffee on my clothes, so I politely decline and take one of the plush leather chairs in the waiting area of Stevenson Industries. It's a large open space with a wide corridor leading off to the various offices and work areas. Instead of taking out my phone to check Facebook, as I usually would, I don't think it sets a good pre-interview impression. I study the area around me. The decor is natural, with some abstract artwork on two of the walls, and the illuminated company sign is set high above the reception desk that fronts the executive offices. I've barely sat down when a door behind Bonnie opens, and she immediately gets up and goes inside. I hear low voices. Then she comes out with a big smile on her face. Julia, Mr. Stevenson is ready to see you now. Thank you, Bonnie, I say, and move toward the office. As I close in on the doorway, a man suddenly fills it and takes me by surprise when he holds out his hand to greet me.
Julia, it's a pleasure to meet you. I'm Griff Stevenson.
Griff? Griff Stevenson? The Mr. Stevenson I remember as the owner of the company was old. Like, really old. This man, this Griff, he's not that old at all. He's tall, extremely handsome, and obviously works out. I feel myself staring at him as I shake his hand and feel a warm shiver run through me as we touch. Weird. I manage to snap myself out of it long enough to make a coherent response. The pleasure is all mine, Mr. Stevenson, I manage to say, unsure of where the words come from. Thank you very much for seeing me this morning.
Let's dispense with the formalities, shall we, please? Call me Griff. Won't you come in?
I step inside his office and look around while he closes the door behind me. The ceiling must be 12 feet high, and the walls are clad in beautiful light oak panels. Griff moves silently around a modern oak desk, devoid of anything but a file, a phone, and a single picture frame. Geez, is this guy OCD or what? I think to myself. It's set in front of a floor-to-ceiling window, overlooking a lake in the company grounds, and I thank whatever ingrained sense of professionalism I have left within me for keeping my composure. The interview starts with small talk, and Griff does a great job of putting me at ease before the normal questions about my employment history. It continues in the same vein. That is, my mouth automatically creates professional and courteous responses, while my mind continues to run on overdrive. I can't help noticing Mr. Stevenson doesn't wear a wedding band, or have any family pictures on his desk, other than one of 2 young kids. Something about the manly scent he exudes has my legs crossing more than once. I know the reaction is unlike me, but there's just something about him. He's older than me, for sure, and just enough to be intriguing. Intriguing and sexy as fuck.
You'd be able to start right away.
He asks me. I could begin today if you'd like. I offer without thinking. I'm forcing myself to stop daydreaming and pay more attention to his questions. Griff laughs. It's a sound that doesn't help my attention span.
How about tomorrow, though I appreciate your eagerness?
Yeah, sorry if that came across as needy, but I've been a little stir-crazy lately. I confess. I like to keep busy.
I respect that.
Griff smiles.
I guess the only thing we have left to discuss is your salary. I'll be honest, you're slightly overqualified, but qualifications aren't everything for this job, and with your sparkling personality, I think you'll be a good fit here.
Thank you. I reply with a smile and feel my cheeks go red.
You're welcome.
Griff picks up the file from the desk and studies it.
The pay grade for this position is supposed to start at $35,000 a year.
His voice trails off, so I give him a moment. I don't want to interrupt his thought process.
However, I'm willing to start you at $40,000 because of your degree and previous managerial experience. You'll have a 90-day probationary period before any of your paid time off or benefits kick in, and you'll be eligible for another raise 1 full year after the probationary period is over if you do well. Would that be acceptable to you?
40 grand a year? Benefits? Hell yeah, that's acceptable. I felt my eyes widen on hearing his offer, but luckily he was still looking at the file, and I managed to rein in my excitement while I answer, so I don't blow it. That sounds fair to me, I say pragmatically.
Wonderful.
Griff grins, and my stomach flutters at the sight of those perfect pearly white teeth.
Well, I guess we'll see you at 8:30 tomorrow morning. I won't be here myself as I'm seeing clients in Seattle, but Bonnie will take care of you.
He stands and sticks his hand out to me across the desk. I look into his eyes and shake it. Again, that weird shiver, like electricity, is present. I look forward to it. Enjoy the rest of your day, Griff.
You too, Julia.
He says as I make my way out the door.
Thanks for stopping by.
No problem. Thanks for seeing me, I say, and make my exit. Bonnie's smile goes from ear to ear. How'd it go? She asks. I return her smile. Very well, thanks. Seems I'll be seeing you tomorrow morning. Oh, that's wonderful. I'm so happy for you, she says. Wait until your father hears. He's going to be so proud. Do you want to see him before you leave? Oh, I wouldn't want to interrupt him if he's busy, I say, unsure. Nonsense. It won't kill the man to take a break. There's not much he stops working for, but you're surely the exception, especially with your good news. Come on, I'll take you to him. Bonnie hoists herself up from her seat and waves me along the corridor. Outside, it's shaped up to be a nice day, and I follow Bonnie through several doors until she taps on my dad's shoulder as he peers into the guts of some piece of electronic equipment. He jumps a little at her touch and turns around.
Julia, what a nice surprise. Thanks for bringing her down, Bonnie. Love your new hairstyle, by the way. It really suits you.
Bonnie looks down and blushes, raising a hand to her hair. If I didn't know better, I'd say she has a bit of a crush on my dad. You're welcome, Walt. It's been so nice to see Julia again. I can't believe how much she's grown since I last saw her. I'll let her fill you in while you show her out. I have to get back to the front desk, Bonnie says and takes off. Dad calls across to one of his colleagues.
I'm going to take my break now, Charlie. Can you hold the fort for a few minutes while I talk to my daughter? I won't be long.
Charlie spins around on his chair.
That's your daughter? Hello, Julia.
He says with a smile.
I feel I practically know you, even though we've never met. Your dad here is forever talking about you. It's nice to finally put a face to the name.
Hey, Charlie. Good to meet you, too. And I hope it's all been good things you've heard about me, I say with a smile. Before he can answer, Dad interrupts.
Well, now you're all introduced, can I take a few minutes and have that chat with my daughter? My precious break time is ticking away here,
he says with a smile.
Sorry, Walt. Sure thing, buddy. Take all the time you need. It's kind of quiet at the minute anyway. Nice to meet you, Julia. Look after the old fella.
Nice to meet you, too. And I will, I reply.
Let's go out to the lake where we can talk in peace,
Dad says, and leads me through a door to the outside.
That's much better. So, how'd it go?
He asks, as we walk the short distance to a bench by the lake. I tried to keep a straight face to build the suspense, but it's no use. The broadening smile that creeps across my face tells him all he needs to know.
That's fantastic news. When do you start?
He says, and pulls me into a big hug. Tomorrow morning, I say, bright and early.
Wonderful. We can ride together if you'd like.
That would be great. I'd love that, Dad. And thanks so much for setting this up for me. I really appreciate it. I'm going to get home now. I have to sew my pants, or I'll have nothing to wear for work tomorrow. My dad frowns, and before I can stop him, he reaches into his pocket and pulls out his wallet.
Take this card and get a few things. Nothing too crazy, please, but enough to get you by until you get your first check.
Dad, I can't. I try to argue. You've done enough for me already.
Julia, pay me back if you want, but do it. You need them. Gotta make a good impression on your first day.
His voice is pointed, warning no nonsense. It's the same one I'd hear when I was little and misbehaved. It's so ingrained in me that all I can do is take the credit card and mumble, "Yes, sir."
I love you, Julia.
Dad gives me a quick squeeze.
And I'm proud of you.
Yeah. I squeeze him back quickly. I love you too. Now get back to work. Dad chuckles.
Yes, ma'am. Be careful getting home. I'll see you later.
He disappears back through the gate. With a resounding sigh, I realize I now have to go clothes shopping. It's not something I enjoy, having to try on this and that, and walking from one end of the mall to the other, only to return to the first store I went in to buy what I first tried on. I climb on the bus that heads to the mall. The sooner it's done, the sooner I can have it over with.
Chapter 4. Griff. Unfortunately, I have to leave town for a few days. It really sucks when I want to welcome my new PA before she gets started. But it's one of the burdens of being the boss, since a lot of our clients either can't spare the time to come to us, or else they won't deal with anyone else but the CEO when it comes to high-value contracts. However, Bonnie happily offers to train Julia while I'm gone, so at least I know she'll be in good hands. The flight from San Francisco to Seattle gives me time to work on the proposal I'll be pitching tomorrow to supply high-frequency radios to one of our biggest clients. I'm confident we'll get the contract, as there's nothing out there to compete with our build quality, and this equipment must be reliable in extreme heat and cold. Still, it never hurts to do some final preparation before a meeting like this, yet I continue to think about Julia. And whenever I do, my pants become tighter. Although the seats are roomy in first class, that's not exactly ideal when I'm sitting so close to other people, and I cover the bulge with some papers, hoping no one else has noticed. I try to think about anything else than her, and I'm more successful at it than I'd like. My thoughts drift back to an old friend. She was never a romantic interest, more like a sister to me, really. Annabeth was a little younger than me, but our parents were good friends and our yards were close. I knew her for as far back as I can remember. It wasn't until high school that things began to fall apart between us. She got a boyfriend and he was very jealous of how close we were. I noticed a change in her behavior. She began to dress differently, and one day I saw a bruise on her arm. But when I mentioned it, she dismissed my concern and said she'd accidentally knocked against a wall. Then, in my senior year, Annabeth's junior year, she finally came to the realization that her boyfriend was unstable, and she tried to break things off with him. He wouldn't take no for an answer, and he followed her and harassed her. Eventually, when she wouldn't respond to his unwanted advances, he snapped and strangled her. She and I were still on the outs over her picking that douchebag over our friendship, but I'll always wonder if I'd have just been there. I could have saved her life. A low bong makes me open my eyes. The fasten seatbelt sign is on again, and some of the cabin crew are rushing around with trolleys, collecting glasses and garbage. I check my watch and realize we must be on our final descent into Seattle. I buckle up, shake off the chill of those memories, and get ready to switch into business mode again.
Chapter 5. Julia. I'm not sure if it's my excitement or anxiety that keeps me awake. It's silly, because I'm confident that I'm able to perform every task the job requires. What's more, I wasn't joking about being stir-crazy. I've reorganized my dad's whole place from top to bottom and cleaned everything in sight. But I'm so tired of being here alone every day. There's something else, too. Something stupid. All damn day, I haven't been able to get Griff off my mind. His laugh, his masculine scent, his smile, all of it. It's like it's become some kind of weird instant obsession with the man. What's worse, now, in the dark silence of night, as I lie in my bed, my thoughts have become naughty fantasies. I imagine the feel of his body on mine, the weight of him on top of me, as he thrusts his hips against mine. I wonder if he tastes as good as he smells, or what his immaculately trimmed beard would feel like, pressed against my pussy. Before I can stop myself, my hand finds its way to my clit. I rub in small, gentle circles as I continue to think about Griff. The buildup intensifies, and my lust takes over as I slip a finger between my wet folds and stroke myself inside. I give in to the fantasy and sensation, imagining it's Griff's hand and not my own. It doesn't take long for me to come, with his face in my mind, and my legs tremble and shake as I go over the edge. Whether it's wrong or not to get off thinking about fucking your new boss doesn't concern me at the moment. All I care is, it does the trick, and my body convulses as my orgasm reaches its peak before finally relaxing, and I drift off to a blissful sleep. Dad and I have a quiet ride to work together. Through my entire life, he's always been a comfort to me. Loving, caring, stable, and secure. He always seems to know when to speak and when to let me be with my thoughts. We pull into the parking lot, and he shuts off the engine.
Have a good day, sweetie. I get out a little before you do, I think. I can wait around if you'd like.
I give him a quick kiss on the cheek. Nonsense, Dad. You go ahead home. I'll take the bus, since I don't know how long Mr. Stevenson will need me, and I don't mind staying behind to help him. I gotta show willing, since I'm just starting here, if I want that raise next year.
Okay, but only if you let me order takeout to celebrate your first day.
He offers, with a small twinkle in his eye. Deal. I agree. He knows me well enough to know I won't pass up a chance to avoid cooking or cleaning up after. Dad disappears around the back of the building, and I smooth out and straighten my new skirt and blouse before I begin my walk toward the main entrance. I scold myself as I go. No one can tell what you're thinking. calm down. Just act professional, work your ass off, and you'll be fine. I really hope I'm right. If anyone could read my mind right now, I'm sure they'd think I was either depraved or a total slut for lusting after a man at least 10 years older than me. After security buzz me through, I wait for a gap in the revolving door at the entrance to the building, and once inside, Bonnie greets me with a huge smile. "Good morning, Julia. Welcome to Stevenson Industries." "Good morning, Bonnie," I say in return. I'm excited to be working here. "Are you ready to get started?" she asks. "Absolutely," I say. I'm so happy to be working again. "Good. Let me show you around, then we'll see what Griff has lined up for you to do today. He's out of town on business, but he left a list." "Thanks," I say, though finding out where the restrooms, the first aid station, and the water cooler are doesn't exactly blow my skirts up as much as wanting to see and smell Griff again. And now he's not even here. Darn it, why can't I get him off my mind? By lunch, I had the layout of the site down pat. I know how to use the copier, the phone, email, and have all my computer logins set up. I'm surprised to discover my desk is situated right inside Griff's office. That is definitely something I wasn't expecting. There's a small shoulder-height divider between me and his desk, but it's still a surprise, and when I mention it to Bonnie, she just brushes it off. Griff finds it easier to work with his personal assistant without having to constantly use the intercom. Bonnie explains. He can call across to you if he needs something, and if he has a meeting, there's always a spare computer you can log on to in the marketing department. She speaks like she knows the man from experience. I don't say another word about it, and if I'm being honest, the thought of being alone with Griff in his office both daunts and excites me. There are certainly worse places my desk could be situated. In fact, the only thing missing from my morning is Griff himself, but I figure it works out well. I can focus on completing the tasks I've been set, instead of fantasizing about what it would be like sleeping with him. After 3 hours of solid work, I figure I'm making good progress, crossing off line after line on my to-do list, and it's noon already. Dad must be tied up on some IT problem, as he doesn't answer his phone, and I don't feel that hungry, so I settle for a buttered hard roll and chocolate milk from the canteen, and take it to one of the benches by the lake. As I soak up the sunshine, my mind wanders back to this sexy hunk that's my boss. I can't seem to help it, even though he's so much older than me. Maybe it's because he's sure to be so much more experienced than the college boys my age who try to get in my panties. I don't know, but I feel my pussy getting wet at the thought of his hands grabbing my ass as he pounds his cock deep inside me. If I wasn't in such a public place, I'd rub one out right here and now, but with so many windows overlooking the lake, I figure I'd better not. So I return to the office a little early, and Bonnie seems to sense my desire to get everything done, because she ends her own lunch early, so we can continue with my induction to the company. By the end of the day, I've learned how to operate the phone system on the front desk, so I can cover for Bonnie, studied Griff's schedule, so I know what's coming up, and been shown how to run all the daily reports he needs. She also gives me a bunch of cheat sheets, from how-tos to what tasks Griff needs prioritizing each day. I leave the building a few minutes late, but the accomplishment I feel far outweighs my exhaustion by a country mile. I smile as I find a seat on the bus and remember I don't even have to cook tonight for the first time in what seems forever. Today's been a good first day, but I'm sure it'll be better when the boss is back. The next few days fly by. Bonnie continues my training while Griff is away on business, but he's called to speak to me a couple of times to see how I'm doing. A deep, sexy voice he's probably not even aware of, but it makes my toes curl whenever I hear it. I'm torn between welcoming not having the distraction of him in the office and itching to see him again. On Friday, Bonnie hands out checks to everyone. She gives me a sympathetic smile and says, "You have 1 more week to go, Julia. They hold back the first week." That's fine, I assure her. I expected as much. It's still a bit of a bummer, but I don't let it bring me down. It's nice to be back to work again, and next Friday it'll be awesome to get that first check. The bus ride home every night gives me time to think. It's my time to unwind. I've learned to control my griff fantasies at the office and save them for my, alone time, lying on my bed. And I make sure I have plenty of that when the chores are all done. The bus stops, and a crowd of people get on. There aren't many seats, so I slide over to the window to be more accommodating. Lost in my mental checklist of the ingredients I'll need for tonight's dinner, I hardly notice the seat cushion next to me move, much less who moves it, so when they say my name, it gets my complete attention, and I turn to face them.
Julia?
Pete? I ask in shock.
I thought it was you.
He throws his arms around me, and I half hug him back. I'm too unsure of how I feel at seeing him again to match his excitement.
What have you been up to?
He asks. I give my head a small shake to find the words. I just left work, where I started a new job. How about you? Finally, I smile. Regardless of everything, it's nice to see him.
I just got back to town. I heard you got back too.
He says. I never went too far away, I point out, having moved only one town over after graduation.
True.
His voice trails off. He knows he hit a sour note.
Are you busy tonight? Do you maybe want to hang out?
Wow, where'd that come from? I'll have to check. Maybe I can let you know? I offer.
Yeah, cool.
Pete whips out his phone.
What's your number? I'll text you now so you'll have mine.
And most likely to ensure I give you the right one. I give it to him anyway, and moments later, my phone buzzes. Cool. I use his phrase to remain nonchalant. This next one is my stop. I look at him expectantly.
Oh.
He realizes he has to move.
Duh, sorry.
He stands.
You'll text me, right?
Yes, Pete, I say. I'll let you know one way or the other.
Awesome. It was good to see you, Julia.
You too. Thankfully, the bus stops, and I step out quickly. Slightly shaken, I purposefully walk in the wrong direction of home, to the coffee shop. Once the foam of the latte hits my lips, I breathe a deep sigh of relief. In the coffee shop, I'm just another customer at a table, and I use the crowd to hide and find solace. Of all the people in the world to run into, it had to be Pete. See, Pete and I have a history together, a romantic history, and a long one at that. We dated exclusively through high school and planned to marry after college. Then I got accepted here, and he got accepted there. I wanted to make it work long distance. I can only suppose he never really did, but he tried for me. Unfortunately, his try ended up with him cheating. Not once or twice either. A lot. When he came clean, he acted like I was supposed to be grateful that he told me and forgive him. That's when we parted ways. It took Pete a while to take the hint that we were over. That was years ago now, though. He can't still be that into me. He probably just wants to catch up. But it didn't feel like that when he held that hug for a little too much longer than old friends would. The argumentative side of me notes. I pull out my phone and bring up the text Pete sent. I click the reply box and begin to type. Sorry, can't make it tonight. Have fun. There. I'm not taking any chances. Pete already had enough of my tears. I'm not willing to go down that road again. Feeling better now, I gather my things before Dad worries too much. I stop at the grocery store and grab the last few items I need for dinner and walk the few blocks to Dad's place. While I cook dinner, I broach the subject with my dad about moving out again. Now I have a good job and all, but he's hearing none of it. I'm just saying that once I get a few paychecks under my belt, I'll be out of your hair, I argue. Dad shakes his head, being firm on this point, then looks at me pointedly.
Julia, I think that's a poor idea. You should stay here for a few months and build up some savings. That way you'll have a cushion in case of an emergency.
He says, It's so frustrating, and I really can't argue with the man. Not after how helpful he's been to me. And as much as I hate to admit it, I know he's right. A few months with my new salary, and I'll have a good chunk of change saved. It's a good idea, and one that can help me avoid further potential bailouts from Bank of Dad. Okay. I relent. I take your point. If that's what you want, Dad, if you're sure it's not too much trouble. Dad gives me a wry smile and says,
You're many things, Julia. Trouble isn't usually one of them. Besides, I kinda like having you around, and the food here has vastly improved.
I laugh. Okay, you get a couple more months of culinary service.
Good.
He grows serious for a moment.
Because I get so sick of those TV dinners. Thanks for humoring me, Julia.
Anytime, Dad.
Chapter 6. Griff. It's been a busy few days with the client in Seattle, but at least they've gone quickly. My pitch went perfectly, and after some searching questions about deliverability, they signed the contract the next day, and I caught the return flight back to SFO Sunday afternoon. My car is waiting for me at the meet and greet, and after I get home and unpack, all I have energy for is a shower and some takeout in front of the TV before heading to bed. Monday morning, I wake up early from the sun streaming in through the window since I forgot to pull the drapes the night before. However, a solid night's sleep in my own bed has recharged me, and I practically spring out of it and head to the bathroom to shave and get ready. Maybe there's another reason for my eagerness to get to work, but I don't want to admit that to myself. I get dressed, wolf down a couple of Pop-Tarts with some coffee, and head out the door. The roads are pretty quiet today since I've missed the rush hour, and it feels great to be cruising down the highway with the top down. As I pull into the parking lot, I notice Julia has also arrived a little early, and as she walks toward the entrance, she turns when she hears me arrive. She waves and waits while I grab my briefcase from the back seat and walk over to where she's standing. Hey, Julia. Good to see you again. Sorry I had to leave just as you were starting. How's everything going? Bonnie showing you the ropes? I ask.
Morning, Griff. Everything's going great, thanks. Bonnie's a very patient teacher. How was your trip?
She says with that captivating smile of hers. It went very well. The clients liked what they saw, and we got the order. $22 million. 22.7 to be exact. Not bad for a weekend's work, I say with a straight look on my face, though inside I'm still stoked for pulling it off. As I approached her from the parking lot a few minutes earlier, I couldn't help but notice how her clothes hugged her perfect curves. And now, up close, I see her makeup has been applied with precision, her eyes are sparkling in the sunlight, and her blonde hair shimmers in the light breeze blowing around us. I remain professional, of course, but I would so love to kiss those soft, cherry-red lips.
That's wonderful news. Does that mean I can get paid now?
She asks, smiling. We never got into anything other than business in the interview, but now she's showing me her sense of humor, and I like it. I also like the fact that she's not afraid to banter with the boss. This girl's got some spunk about her, and a little voice in my head tells me I made the right choice with her. I laugh and say, I don't know. Did you earn it? How's that list looking that I left with Bonnie for you to get started on?
Oh, that. It's all done. And I've started sorting through the files in your office,
she says. It's all done? I say incredulously. There was a lot on it. I didn't expect you to finish it all.
Yeah, well, I did. So let me know what you need today,
she says as we both walk past security and into the building. Just then her phone rings, and I leave her to answer it while I walk across reception to my office. She comes in and sits at her desk after a few minutes, looking a little flustered, but we're soon down to the business at hand, and I think no more of it. I'm amazed at how productive my morning is, with Julia dealing with all the mundane stuff that's been slipping through the cracks while I've been without a PA. I even have time to ponder how ethical it would be to ask Julia to lunch. But ultimately, it's our first day working together, and I hardly know her. It wouldn't be right. And it probably wouldn't look right to everyone else, so I decide against it and lunch with Paul from quality control instead, so we can talk about fulfilling the new contract to their specific requirements. Don't want any fuck-ups, especially on this one.
Julia. It's been a hectic first morning working with Griff, catching up after his trip. But it's also been fun. However, I barely make it through my lunch break without snapping my phone in my hands. Once again, Pete isn't very accepting of the revelation that I'm simply not interested in being with a cheating bastard like him. We've been there and done that. I'm a smart girl, so why would I put myself through that again? The phone dances across the desk, the screen buzzing to life, as Pete flashes across the screen. I crush the button on the side to silence the call and slam it against the desk, frustrated that he won't take a hint. I rake my hands through my hair and take a deep breath, willing the impending migraine that's knocking at my temples to ease.
Well, I hope your work hasn't made you so frustrated this quickly.
Griff laughs from the door, and I tilt my head up and meet his gaze. I ignore the shot of excitement that runs through me every time I see his face and smile up at him, smoothing my golden locks back into place. Absolutely not, Griff. In fact, I pause, opening my top drawer and taking out everything I'd prepared on Friday evening for this morning's meeting with him. Unless there are changes I don't know about, here's your schedule for the day. 3 p.m., overseas conference call with the procurement team at Anson in Australia. Obviously important. Do you want me to remind you 15 minutes prior? Griff thumbs through the pages, then looks at me with wonder.
This is amazing. Thank you, Julia. I can tell this is going to work out just fine, and yes, give me a nudge at 2:45 so I can clear the decks.
I give him a grin. I don't think anything could knock me down after such a compliment from him. That is, until my phone buzzes. Again. A huff under my breath, and I look down at the phone. You guessed it. Text message number 28 from Charming Pete. Hiding my unease, I turn my gaze back to my boss. I'm sorry, Griff. I'll turn it off.
Don't worry about it.
He says, though he studies me.
Everything okay?
Yeah, everything's fine. Thanks. My desk phone rings. I guess it's time to work, I say as I turn to answer the phone. Despite Griff's okay to leave my cell phone on, I shut it off and drop it in my bag. Enough is freaking enough. 5 o'clock rolls around, and I wrap up the schedule for tomorrow. I'm in no hurry, still debating whether I want to walk home or not. I decide to avoid the bus, and Pete, altogether, and take my phone out of my bag to power it up and let my dad know I'll be a little late. As soon as my phone boots up, it goes nuts. It vibrates repeatedly as text after text from Pete rolls in. I stare at the influx of notifications in horror as they all flash across the screen. He becomes more aggressive with each one. Still watching my cell phone, I pick up my desk phone and call my dad. Hey, Dad. Yeah, I just want to let you know I'll be late, so you don't have to worry.
Okay, Julia. Thanks for letting me know. I think we're due for a pizza anyway.
He suggests. That sounds great, Dad. Thanks. I'll see you in a bit. I disconnect. My cell phone finally ceases its creepy dance across the desk. I go to touch it, and it goes off again, making me jump. But it's the tap on the partition behind me that makes me yelp aloud.
Julia?
Griff says, with a note of concern in his voice.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to scare you.
I lower my hand from my chest and feel incredibly foolish. No, I'm sorry. I'm overly jumpy, apparently. Griff studies me.
You know, I don't expect you to do any unpaid overtime, and certainly not without plenty of notice. You're free to leave at 5.
Oh, yes, I know. I was just finishing up. I scramble for an excuse.
Okay, only Bonnie mentioned that you catch the bus. I'd hate to think of you missing it and being stranded here.
Griff says. My phone goes off again, and I flinch without realizing it. Yeah, I'm thinking a walk sounds good, I say wryly. Griff watches as the incessant ringing continues, text after text message incoming.
I take it you don't want to answer that.
He nods his head toward the offending cell phone. I shake my head vehemently without thinking.
Is it also the reason why you're still here?
I sigh. A little, I confess. He quirks a brow and studies me, waiting for an explanation. For some unexplained reason, I'm okay with discussing this with him. I ran into an ex on the bus on Friday, and he managed to get my number out of me. He hasn't left me alone since. Griff reaches for the phone, and then pauses.
May I?
He asks. Be my guest, I say, and hand him the damn thing as it goes off yet again. Griff slides the screen lock and frowns.
Wow, 72.
It buzzes again.
Make that 73 new messages and counting.
He grows silent as he scrolls through Pete's messages, and I nervously begin to shut down my workstation, needing to have something to do to break the raging noise of my thoughts. Pete is seriously beginning to freak me out. I stack everything neatly in the drawer for tomorrow morning and turn off the computer. When I look up at Griff, the look on his face worries me. Brows furrowed into a thick V, the laugh lines around his plump lips downturned and prominent. Griff, what's wrong? I ask, slightly concerned.
Julia.
He pauses to take a deep breath, rubbing the back of his neck.
These last few texts are downright disturbing. They're threats, and I'm glad you decided to stay behind because he notes your absence from the bus.
My eyes grow wide in shock. What? I shake my head to clear it and mumble, why would he threaten me?
I can block his number if you want, but if he's stalking you, it may be wise to inform the police.
I shake my head. No, it just takes him a while to get a clue that I'm not interested. I assure Griff, hoping I'm right. If you can block him and get my phone to stop doing that, though, that'd be great. Griff frowns while he works on blocking all incoming contact from Pete, then hands it back to me.
I hope you don't mind, but I also forwarded some of the text to me and added my number in there in case you need to get a hold of me.
Thank you, Griff, I say, with so much relief. But inside, I'm happy dancing at the thought of having Griff's number on my phone. So he can't text me anymore?
Nope, or call.
Griff confirms. Oh, thank goodness. I drop my phone in my bag and stand. Thanks, Griff. Have a great night.
Julia.
Griff's deep voice halts my step.
How are you getting home?
I was planning on walking, I say. The next bus isn't for a while.
May I offer you a ride?
Griff asks.
I know it's unconventional, but I can't in good conscience let you go walk down the street with a stalker after you.
His tone is only half joking. Are you sure it isn't too much trouble? I ask, hoping he won't change his mind.
Not at all.
Griff says as he shuts off his desk lamp and grabs his keys.
In fact, knowing you're safe will ensure I can sleep tonight.
Okay, thanks. I manage to sputter, but my brain focuses on the idea of Griff thinking about me in bed. I blush as he approaches.
All set?
Yeah, thanks again. I sling my messenger bag over my shoulder and straighten my spine, plastering a confident and assured smile on my face.
Any time, Julia, just stay safe, and promise me, if this guy gets worse, that you'll tell the police.
Griff urges as he nods to the security guard on our way out of the building. I will. I promise. I follow Griff, and he unlocks his car and holds the door for me to get in. I glance around nervously, not noticing anything amiss, and slide inside. He shuts the door and walks around the car, and I inhale deeply. Even his car has his scent. Griff starts the engine, and it startles me when music starts to thump loudly from the speakers. He quickly turns it down and gives me a sheepish look.
Sorry,
he says. It's fine. I grin. You definitely didn't have to turn down Green Day. The smile he gives me makes my stomach flip-flop.
A fellow fan, I take it.
I nod. Very much so.
Just tell me where we're going, then I'll crank it back up.
Griff waggles his eyebrows, and I laugh. I give him the address, and true to his word, He cranks the music back up. Loud. It's not a long drive to my dad's, and Griff turns down the music when we hit my street. It's so weird. Griff's definitely an older man. Not my dad's age old, but older than me by at least a decade. Maybe more. Meanwhile, he seems like someone I could easily get along with and hang out with. He pulls up and unbuckles his seatbelt to get out of the car. Griff, don't worry about it. I can make it from here, I tell him. You've already gone above and beyond today. Besides, I don't need my dad to start asking questions. At least my phone isn't spazzing out anymore.
Are you sure?
Griff asks. Yes, thank you again. Have a good night. I'll see you in the morning, I say, and step out of the car.
Good night, Julia.
Griff says. I turn around as I approach the front door and notice he doesn't leave until I'm safe inside. I repeat his words in my head again and again, committing them to memory as I close the door behind me. The smell of pizza hits me, and suddenly I feel much better. Chapter 7. Julia.
Morning, Julia.
Griff walks into the office, muscles rippling beneath his button-down shirt and designer pants. I can't take my eyes off him. Not after he told me yesterday he thought I looked hot. And not with a sexy boss like him strutting around the office with a discernible bulge in his pants. Morning, Griff. I purr and bite my lip. Bonnie's off sick. Your 10 o'clock just canceled. Oh, and I'm not wearing any panties today. He walks over to me, leaning casually against the partition as he undresses me with his eyes. I return the favor, willingly. That bulge is right at eye level, the outline of his cock more evident than ever. I swivel in my chair, my legs apart, so he can see my wet pussy, and unzip him, pulling his pants to the floor. His narrow waist disappears into his low-slung boxers, his abs rock hard, and a thin trail of hair extends from just below his belly button to the top of his thin cotton waistband. I look at it longingly, eager to see where it leads. I can feel the texture of his pubic hair beneath my greedy, naughty fingers, to say nothing of the pulsing shaft beneath. I can see him hardening beneath his boxers. I take it in my hands, heavy, thick, and toy with it gently until it stiffens even more in my grip. I stroke the soft skin back and forth until he moans and calls my name out loud. I lick my lips, my eyes roaming back up his body, savoring every inch of flesh as I pump his cock. His eyes gaze up and down my body, and my skin shivers with enticement. I can feel my nipples hardening beneath his glance, feel my belly quiver beneath his leer, feel my pussy wet as he licks his lips and inches closer.
How did you know I wanted you?
He asks as his hand slips inside my shirt and fondles my breast, tweaking my nipple and sending exquisite sensations through my body. I didn't, I say, his cock stiff and hard in my hand. I can smell the muskiness of his desire. Not for sure, but I had to take a chance. I wonder how much of my desire he can see from where he's standing. I want him to see just how wet he's made me, and wonder how much wetter I could become.
I'm glad you did,
he says in a low voice. My heart hammers as I speak the words I've been wanting to say for weeks. I've been waiting for you to take me, Griff. He doesn't say a word, but offers me his hand and pulls me up from my chair. He sweeps me into his arms, carries me to his huge wooden desk, and lays me on it, my short skirt riding up around my hips.
Well, I hope I haven't made you wait too long,
he says. I shake my head, watching his hand edge closer to my pussy along the top of the desk. I spread my legs wider in anticipation, and he pauses, teasingly, before creeping closer, then closer still, until he reaches my pussy. I gasp as his fingertips gently brush against my wet, swollen lips. His thick fingers rasp against my tender clit before slipping inside, and he caresses the fine blonde hair covering my mound with his other hand until it glistens, slick and wet with desire. I whimper and moan, my fists clenching and unclenching as my body courses with desire. I'm afraid to move in case he stops and denies me the orgasm that's been building inside me since he walked into the office. Correction, since he walked into my life. Sliding out from my pussy, his index finger presses against my aching, begging clit, making me gasp, moan, and tremble. He circles it over and over, and I quiver, spreading my legs wider and lifting my knees for what was to come.
Fuck,
he murmurs as he continues to circle and rub my throbbing clit.
I've never wanted anyone more than I want you right now, Julia.
His deep, sexy voice growling my name sends me over the edge. His lips crush against mine, and I feel his thick cock probing my entrance. Long, hard, and slick with his pre-cum, he slides it deep inside me, making me scream with pleasure, stroking my core to a whimpering orgasm while he licks and sucks my nipples. I pant and moan so loud that I wake up to warm wetness between my legs, but it's all my own. I open my eyes and sit up in bed, thinking how vivid the dream was. It felt so real, and my heart pounds in my chest, just as it did while Griff made love to me in my fantasy. I look around the room, but he's not here. Griff insists on dropping me off after work the rest of the week. I think his concern is sweet, and I really don't feel like bumping into Pete again. So I agree. We've gotten to know each other a little better during our commutes. Favorite bands, favorite movies, that kind of thing. And I'm comfortably at ease when in his presence, like I've known him for years. The fact that Griff's also smoking hot and cool to be around doesn't exactly hurt either. The attraction is palpable, undeniable, and most definitely unacceptable. He's my dad's boss, for crying out loud. Okay, technically my boss too, I get it. If my dad notices our budding friendship, he doesn't say anything about it. Perhaps he's blind to the fact that my face tinges pink whenever Griff walks into the room, or that Griff's eyes haze over with a lustful intent when he looks at me. We're on friendly grounds, of course, but with each passing day I spend with Griff, I become more unsure of my restraint for him. He makes me feel safe, protected, worthy of those things. And I don't think he realizes the effect he has on me. Don't get me wrong, learning that Pete had cheated on me was the best thing that could have happened for that relationship. It saved me years of undue stress and heartache. It hurt, being disregarded, as if my love for him wasn't enough, but I'm strong. I picked myself up and dusted my skirt off and carried on with my chin held high. I focused on getting my degree and making a life for myself, leaving the ideal of relationships on the back burner. It wasn't important at the time, but now I see what I've been missing, and I can't deny that I am intrigued. My dad and I even go for our usual Sunday morning breakfast at our favorite cafe around the corner from the home I grew up in. This has been our weekly routine for as long as I can remember. Our father-daughter time.
Things have really been working out well for you at the office, huh?
He asks, before he shovels a forkful of waffles into his mouth. I nod and swallow my bacon. Yeah, things are great. I like the work, and everyone's really nice. The money's good, too. I only half joke.
I'm glad, Julia. It's a great company to work for, and with the new contracts Mr. Stevenson has secured, I have no doubt the demand for business executives will increase.
Dad, what are you getting at? I ask, cocking my brow at him.
You're a smart, educated young lady, Julia. Put in the hard work, and with your degree, you could certainly work yourself up if you decide this is a job you enjoy. You're new, so you're just learning the industry now as an assistant.
He pauses and takes a drink of orange juice.
You and Mr. Stevenson seem to work very well together, so keep your mind open and soak up everything. You never know when you'll learn something valuable.
Dad, I hadn't even considered the possibility of making a long-term career at Stevenson Industries. For now, this job is just a placeholder, I think. I scrunch my brows as I think about everything he just said. The possibilities of securing a future with this company, and more with Griff, makes me smile.
I see I've piqued your interest.
he says, beaming as he forks more food into his mouth. You definitely have given me something to think about. Monday afternoon, Griff taps on the partition.
Julia, do you have a moment?
He asks, his face set in hard lines as he peers at me. Of course. What's up? I ask, curious. Griff's brow furrows.
I have to leave for business, and I'll be gone for a couple of days.
Yes, it's on your weekly schedule here, I point out. Griff sits in the chair across from my desk and crosses his ankle over his knee, rubbing his hand over his scruff of beard. He's quiet momentarily, and he seems lost in thought. For what? I'm unsure.
What I'm worried about is you getting home safely.
He explains.
I know you've managed to dodge the X, but I have an uneasy feeling about the situation. I was going to talk to your dad, but I don't want to overstep my boundaries as an employer.
Wow. Thanks, I say in relief. But I don't want to worry him. Don't worry, Griff. I can take a cab. It's not a big deal. I shouldn't rely on you for a ride anyway. I shrug, dismissing his concern, although it certainly warms my heart. He's worried about me. Of course, we're becoming friends, but I'm shocked by the revelation.
Nonsense. I kind of enjoy having someone to rock out with for a few miles.
A hint of a grin peeks through his scruff, his eyes alight and playful. His words make me smile.
Okay, a cab sounds safer than the bus. Good idea. It's only for 2 days, and then we'll be back to our usual routine.
His phone rings from across the room, interrupting our brief moment. Conference call, I remind him, with a small smile. He nods, that grin growing deeper, then strides confidently back to his desk to answer it. My mind reels with Griff's implication that I can expect rides with him for the foreseeable future. A naughty part of my brain wonders if he'd be receptive to a different kind of ride, but I shake it off and try not to read too deeply into his words or concern. Griff's a total hottie and a total catch. Handsome as fuck and rich. He's too good for me. So I'll just enjoy his company and keep my infatuations to myself. The office is too quiet today in Griff's absence, and the stark silence almost drives me crazy. The phones haven't even rung once, so I guess Bonnie has taken the liberty to take messages for him so I can focus on my work. Having all my tasks completed early, I straighten up my area, then close the computer down for the day. I cast a glance at my watch, 4:45, and decide to call a cab, as I assured Griff I would do. No sense in taking the chance of having an unwanted run-in with that slimeball Pete. I step out into the evening air, the sun bright on my face. It's been a gorgeous day, and one I'd rather have spent in the park with a good book. Alas, adulthood put paid to that. The cab pulls into the lot. It's a decent car, not a rusted clunker with blue smoke polluting the air. I climb inside and notice the clean interior with 0 scent of must or trash. Uncommon, but much appreciated. Public transportation can be rather disgusting.
Hello, miss. Lovely weather today, eh? Where are we headed?
He says. It certainly is. I reply. You know Linwood Terrace, near the Rose Garden in San Jose?
I don't know the street, but sure I know the Rose Garden area. That's a pretty part of town. You live there?
Yeah. Well, it's actually my dad's. I'm staying with him for a bit, until I can get my own apartment. I just started a new job here, I reply.
Great place to work, from what I hear.
He quips. It is. I've only just started, but I'm loving it so far. I beam, and think of Griff. The driver is friendly, and we make simple conversation as he navigates through the city. He drops me at the store near home, and I ask if he can return the same time tomorrow. He suggests when I call to ask for him, hands me a card, and I assure him I will. I pick up everything on my list, eager to get home and slide on some comfy pajamas. I make my way to the apartment, the evening breeze calm and warm on my cheeks. Clad with heavy brown bags, I manage to unlock the door without dropping anything. I smile when I find my dad asleep on his recliner in front of the TV and cover him with a blanket. I move about the kitchen with ease, putting away groceries, and then put the chicken in the oven. With 30 minutes to kill before I check on it, I decide to take a nice hot bath to relax. As the tub fills, I grab my cell phone and log in to my social media page since it's been a couple of weeks that I've been online. I thumb through the notifications and find nothing too important. I move on to a new friend request, and my heart jumps into my throat when I see it's Pete. I go to his page and block him after I delete his request. Not today, Satan. Not today. I climb into the bath with my phone and lay back, the heat from the water soothing my limbs. Seeing the red messages icon lit up, dread fills me, knowing he's taken alternate measures of contacting me since I haven't been responding to his texts. Scrolling through his messages, a chill washes over me, despite the warm water. He rants and rages, then pleads for forgiveness within seconds. It's mind-boggling how someone can go from one extreme to the other, though the fear Pete has instilled in me is palpable. I know I promised Griff that if things got worse, I'd contact the police, but so far, he's only made empty threats. He's always been a lot of talk and very little action, so I shake off the trepidation and archive the messages. I don't want to see them, but I don't think it's smart to delete them either. Putting the incident to the back of my mind, I realize the water has cooled, and likely the chicken is almost ready. I get out of the tub and towel off to dress and wake Dad up to eat. The hours slowly tick by, the monotony bordering on annoying. I'm effective in my work, and with Griff away on business, there isn't much more I can do, having all the reports and files completed by 3:30. I consider leaving early, but I'm still new to this job, and I can't afford to have a strike against me in this probationary period. I've given some consideration to the discussion Dad and I had about my future with Stevenson Industries, so I wait the day out, helping Bonnie on the front desk. The phone on my desk rings at 4:55. I know I don't have to answer it. The phone answering system is already on, but I figure it could be important. Sure enough, it's a client who needs to reschedule their meeting with Griff tomorrow. I start my computer and make small talk with the client as I pull up Griff's calendar. "Julia, can you lock up the office when you leave?" Bonnie calls out as she pokes her head in. She quickly mouths sorry when she sees him on the phone. I give her a thumbs up, and she disappears with a wave and a smile. Griff's schedule is hectic with the new project in the works, so we discuss possible dates to accommodate both Griff and the client. Closing the computer down again, I realize I'm 20 minutes behind schedule. I turn off the lights as I make my way through our office, then shoot a quick text to my dad as I pull the door shut behind me and lock it. Crossing reception, I realize everyone's gone for the day. Even the security guard isn't at his post, so I assume he's gone for a bathroom break. The click-clack of my heels echo off the vast walls, and I hurry outside. I tighten my bag over my shoulder and scan the parking lot. That's when it hits me. There's no cab waiting for me. Shit! I got so wrapped up on the phone with the client, I forgot to call for a cab. My fingers fly over the screen, quickly dialing the cab company, and they assure me a cab is on its way. I nervously pace the parking lot, while always keeping an eye on my surroundings. It's bordered with tall trees and hedges behind, and I wonder how had I not realized how secluded it is here before. A car pulls in, and I breathe a sigh of relief until it rolls to a stop, and I realize it's not the cab at all. A flash of the face inside makes me scramble backward. I disappear through the side gate my dad always uses in hopes to hide in the grounds I barely know myself. I rush through and search for a decent place to hide. At least I have pants on today, because I see a platform on a radio mast up off the ground where I can hide. A minute after I climb up the metal ladder and hunker down, I hear the crunch of gravel below me. Nervously clenching my hands, I realize I'm still grasping my phone and hurriedly mute the volume. Something tells me I'm not going to like what happens if Pete finds me. It's now obvious Griff's paranoia over the situation isn't so silly. Pete's here, after all, and he must have been watching me. If he's taken things this far, the idea of what he could do next scares me. No, I think it's best for me to sit tight and hope he gives up and goes away. But then again, this is Pete, and if he were one to give up easily, I wouldn't be hiding out from him right now. The heavy tread of footsteps goes back and forth, again and again, crunching over the gravel and kicking dust up as he frantically searches for me. It's not until I hear a whoop of a siren and see red and blue lights blinking from the parking lot that I hear a mumble of,
"Oh, shit!"
and the footsteps hurrying in the direction from which he came. There's a rush of angry voices, and then silence. I wait momentarily as the voices become quiet, and I figure it's safe to come out of hiding. I begin to wriggle myself free from the small confines, my hands shaking and my heart pounding violently against my ribs as fear courses through me. The cops may have put Pete off for now, but I don't doubt he'll be back. The thought doesn't help my sweaty, shaking hands, and I lose my grip as I attempt to climb down. I meet the ground with a solid thud that knocks the wind out of me. I'm sprawled on my stomach, and my head hurts like hell. I lay there blinking my eyes, trying to clear the haze from my mind, but every muscle in my body aches, and I can't move. Suddenly, a bright light flickers in my eyes. It makes me wonder if I'm dead. No, this hurts way too much. I vaguely hear muttering as I give way to the heaviness of the fog clouding me, and everything around me fades away.
Chapter 8. Griff. As soon as my phone goes off, I know something's wrong. Things have fell off all afternoon, and Mac's face only confirms my fears as it flashes across the screen. He gives me a quick breakdown of what's happened, and I thank him for his efforts. Who knows how long Julia could have been lying there without medical attention, or worse, if that asshole had the chance to find her. Mac's call to the police may have literally been a lifesaver. When I arrive at the hospital, I find Walt in the waiting room, and he stands to greet me with a handshake.
"Griff, thank you for coming. You really didn't have to,"
he says. It's the least I can do. Our employees are family, I assure him, though a small twinge of guilt runs through me. If this man knew what I really wanted to do to his daughter, he'd likely punch me where I stand. Any news on how she's doing? I ask, wiping that thought from my mind. My concern is sincere, though. I need to know that Julia is okay.
"So far, the doctors have said she has concussion. That's their biggest concern because she came in unconscious and hasn't woken yet. There are a few bruised ribs and some cuts and scrapes too,"
Walt explains. I frown. This isn't what I want to hear. If you don't mind, I'd like to hang around with you for a while. Walt smiles sadly.
"I'd really appreciate that, Griff. Thanks."
Time is a funny thing in hospital waiting rooms. I can't tell you how long Walt and I sit inside, but eventually someone approaches us, and the doctor looks at me questioningly as he sits down.
"It's okay, he's a family friend,"
Walt says, looking at me. "Okay, Mr. Black, here's where we're at," he says, and we both sit forward in our seats, listening intently to what he has to say. "Julia is stable. She came around once in shock and didn't seem to remember what happened," the doctor explains. "We sedated her to give her body a chance to heal, and that's wearing off now, so you can go and see her if you'd like to be there when she wakes up. I'll have one of the nurses take you down to her," he says.
"Yes, of course we would,"
Walt says as he stands, and I follow along behind him. The nurse leads us through the maze of corridors and opens the door for us. Inside the room, Julia looks so peaceful in the bed. A few scrapes mar her face, but she looks downright angelic as she lies there sleeping. My anger builds. This Pete guy had better back the fuck off, and I have half a mind to have Mac make him wish he'd never messed with Julia. The license plate from the other day turns out to be Pete's, and it was one of the things Mac noticed immediately during the would-be attack at the company site. I try to calm myself down, but inside I'm seething with rage, seeing this poor girl hurt in front of me, and I so want to punch him in the face.
Chapter 9. Julia. A rhythmic beep wakes me. My eyes feel heavy, and my head and chest hurt. The smell around me reeks of chemical cleaners, and it dawns on me that I'm in a hospital bed. I hate hospitals. I muster up the strength to open one eye and see my dad staring at me from the foot of the bed with a concerned look on his face.
Julia, thank goodness!
He rushes around to the side and places a kiss on my head.
I'll go find the doctor.
My gaze follows him toward the door. Then I notice that we're not alone. Griff stands there solemnly.
Hey.
He says, "Hey," I say groggily, and try not to imagine how horrible I must look.
This is probably going to sound dumb, but how are you feeling?
He asks. "Never better." I joke, and a small smile comes to my face.
Do you want to tell me what happened?
He asks. "Not right now, but I will once my dad leaves," I say. But before he can argue, my dad returns, and Griff silently nods his understanding.
I think I'll go grab a coffee and let you two chat. I'll be back.
Griff says with a gentle smile.
Thanks again for coming, Griff. It means a lot.
My dad says.
No problem. The police called me to say they were on the scene at the plant and Julia had been hurt. I had to see for myself that she was okay.
Griff tells him with a pat on the back. We watch Griff leave, and once the heavy door closes, an uncomfortable tension fills the air.
Julia, what happened?
Dad asks. I don't want to lie to him, but I don't want to worry him either, so I try to play it off as an accident. It was silly. I left something at the office and zigged when I should have zagged, and fell. Dad shakes his head.
You shouldn't have gone back there. It's not safe, especially after hours.
So I've noticed, I say wryly.
You have me scared, Julia.
I'm sorry, Dad, I say sincerely. Listen, I'm a little sore, but I'm fine. It's probably late. You don't have to stay.
I'm at least talking to the doctor,
he says stubbornly, and I don't argue. We watch TV for a while. I can't even tell you what's on, as my mind tries to process the evening's events instead. The door opens, and I jump from the unexpected movement. It's only the doctor, and I laugh at my nervousness. The doctor updates us on my injuries and assures my dad I'll make it out of here tomorrow, alive and in one piece, if nothing changes. I'm discovering how painful bruised ribs can be, and that I have a slight concussion, along with some scrapes and such, which is why they want to monitor me overnight. Overall, I did a pretty bang-up job on myself. The doctor has the nurse bring some food, and Dad says goodnight and leaves without any further fuss. It looks like something from a grinder on a tray, so I push it aside in disgust. A few minutes later, the door opens again, and I tense up, until I see Griff with a bag of takeout. He glances at the tray and wrinkles his nose.
I'll make you a deal. You give me the whole story, and I'll share what's inside this bag, since I just saw your dad walk out the door.
What's inside the bag? I ask, to alleviate some of the stress from this situation.
Italian.
He opens the top and wafts it in front of my face, so the delicious aroma fills my nostrils. Deal.
Griff. It only takes a moment to settle into a chair. I move it next to the small rolling table which we share. The takeout fits perfectly, and Julia begins to eat ravenously. The pitcher of water is on the windowsill, so I get up and pour her a glass. She shoots me a look of gratitude as she takes it from me.
Thanks,
she says after a swallow. I'm listening, I say as I sit again and take a bite of my food. Julia studies me.
Why do I feel like you already know what happened?
Touché. Maybe I want to hear it from you, I say enigmatically. She sighs.
Pete showed up as I was waiting in the parking lot for a cab. I got scared and panicked. I hid, in probably not the best spot, as it turns out. He paced the area for a few minutes, trying to snuff me out of hiding, but I remained calm and quiet. I remember seeing blue lights and then Pete taking off behind the side of the building, so I don't know what happened or where he went. Assured that the coast was clear, I attempted to climb down safely and gracefully.
She feigns laughter, wincing as she grips her side. She's brave. I'll give her that much.
That's pretty much all I remember.
I'm sure she's not holding back, but I notice the fear in her eyes when she mentions Pete's name. We have it all on camera, I say. The police asked some questions. I tried to keep my promise to you as best I could, but they knew Pete was a threat even before I was asked.
It's not a secret, I suppose,
Julia says softly.
I just don't want to worry my dad.
I understand, I say. Julia, has he been in contact with you at all, besides showing up today? She glances around nervously.
There were a bunch of messages on my Facebook account, but I blocked him. Don't worry.
I hadn't considered how many ways there are to harass someone in the modern social media age. Julia looks like she's about to cry, and I place my hand on hers. It's okay, Julia. This isn't your fault.
Thanks, Griff.
She sniffles.
I needed to hear that.
The door opens and a nurse approaches Julia.
It sure does smell good in here.
She says.
I'm glad you got some good food because this medicine is going to knock you for a loop. Someone will be in to monitor you in a little while.
She inserts a needle into the IV port attached to Julia's hand.
Sleep tight,
she says, and turns out the main room light on her way out. Julia's eyes begin to close almost immediately.
Thanks for coming, but you should go, Griff,
she says with a yawn.
It's late.
As odd as it sounds, part of me wants to offer to stay the night, and I really don't want to leave her. I'll stay a bit longer. You just get some rest. She smiles, though her eyes remain shut.
You're the best, Griff.
I don't reply because her head falls back, and I know the medicine has taken her under. I spend the better part of an hour while I watch her sleep, trying to figure out exactly what feelings I have for her going on inside me.
Julia. When I wake up, I can still feel the drugs are making me feel groggy, and my mouth feels like a sock is inside it. My side hurts, and my head throbs a little, but I'm alive. Hopefully they'll let me out of here today. I ring for a nurse to disconnect me and use my IV pole as a support to walk to the bathroom. The nurse informs me she can get some things if I'd like to shower, which I quickly agree to. As I finish using the toilet, there's a knock on the door. I open it and gladly accept the towel and small bottles of toiletries. Just watch where that IV is in your hand and keep the cord close, she instructs. I'll be out here tidying up. Give me a holler if you need help with anything. Thank you, I will, I reply. Despite the stinging pain of the hot water pelting on my cuts, it feels good to have a shower. I try not to take too long, and I'm careful with the IV. I step out of the cubicle, dry off, and dress in the clean hospital gown that the nurse left me. After brushing my teeth and combing my hair, I begin to feel like a human being again. By the time I emerge, the nurse has changed the bed linens, and I crawl under the fresh, clean sheets. No sooner have I snuggled down, there's a knock on the door, and Griff pokes his head in.
Good morning,
he says brightly. Something about his presence absolutely delights me. Good morning, I say, and the nurse gives me a knowing smile as she leaves.
I gave your dad the day off. I told him to sleep in and spend the day here,
Griff says. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Maybe you should come clean with him about this situation,
Griff hints, though he quickly changes the subject.
Oh, and due to your excellent performance and attendance, I've decided to waive your probationary period, so this will be paid sickness leave. I'll have a word with personnel, too, about your health insurance.
I'm speechless. It must take me a full minute before I can respond. Griff, thank you. You know that you don't have to do that.
As far as I'm concerned, I'm lucky you don't sue me for that fall.
He winks, and I laugh, then grimace because it hurts. I would never. I say seriously.
I know,
he says, a sparkle of amusement in his eye.
Anyway, I really want to stay, but I have...
A conference call you better not miss? I interject as I recall his schedule. I look at the clock. You'd better get moving.
You got it. I'll see you later, though.
Is that a promise? I half tease.
You know it.
Griff says in a soft tone. His hand cups my cheek, and for a moment I will him to kiss me. He doesn't, of course, and I can't help but imagine what his lips would feel like, crushed against mine, as I watch him leave the room.
Griff. Even in the crowded elevator, I chide myself. It was as though some trance took over me just before I almost kissed her. Despite my desire, I should know better than that. Warning bells ring in my head. My attraction and feelings for Julia begin to compound, and the lines between what's appropriate and what's not begin to blur. I know I play with fire every time I'm in her presence, but the idea of staying away depresses me too much to consider. I get into my car, and the realization hits me. Regardless of my best efforts, this thing I have for Julia has grown from attraction to lust to infatuation and now to, well, I don't know what it is I feel for her. I should make it stop, but I don't want to. Whether it's right or wrong, whether she'd even have me or not, part of me already needs her. The question now is, will I do anything about it?
Julia. It's not too long after Griff leaves that another knock sounds on my door, and in walks my dad. He carries coffee and a bag of donuts from our favorite bakery in one hand, and a deck of cards in the other, causing me to grin.
"Hey, baby girl,"
He says.
"Good morning."
Good morning, Dad. Thank you for saving me from hospital breakfast, I say as I motion to the tray on the windowsill. Even the smell from it makes me want to puke.
"I figured the food here would be terrible."
He laughs. We eat our donuts and watch TV, and when we're done, Dad takes out the cards while I turn off the TV. Cards have always been our thing. Camping, play cards. Power outage, you guessed it, cards. He deals a hand, and Griff's words repeat in my mind, and I know I'd be lying if I don't tell my father about Pete. As we play, I fill him in. He's not happy I kept it from him this long, but he understands why I did. Before I can answer too many more of his questions, there's another knock on the door, and my spirits lift, hoping it's Griff. But instead, an older man I've never seen before steps inside.
"Julia Black? Sorry to interrupt. I'm Detective Mac McGregor, and I've been assigned to your case,"
He says, flashing his ID.
"I have a few questions if you're filling up to it."
Dad looks at him in surprise, and I nod. Now's as good a time as any, I guess.
Chapter 10. Griff. I have my phone on silent, so any incoming calls or texts don't interrupt my online conference call. But when the screen lights up and flashes Mac's face, I check it right away.
"She gave me more evidence. Call me later. I'll fill you in."
I quickly type a reply. Thanks, man. Be in touch ASAP. I'm sure by now Walt's now aware of what happened, and I'm glad Mac's been assigned to the case. I return to the hospital around 4. Walt and Julia greet me amidst a father-daughter disagreement, and they barely miss a beat after they acknowledge me.
"What will it hurt to stay another night?"
Walt asks with frustration.
What good will it do?
Julia counters.
I hate it here, Dad.
Walt shakes his head.
"The doctor says stairs aren't good for you with your ribs as they are. What if they just charge you and you can't make it inside?"
he asks. Julia looks like she may cry.
I'll make it. One way or another, I'll make it. Please don't make me stay.
Walt's voice softens.
"Julia, it's in your best interest."
Her eyes narrow, and before things escalate, I pipe in. So they said they can release you?
"The doctor is concerned about her mobility,"
Walt says quickly.
"Don't let her downplay it."
Julia rolls her eyes and huffs loudly. Stairs are the issue, I ask.
Yeah, upstairs apartment,
Julia says grumpily. I have a guest room available on the first floor of my house. It has a bathroom attached. You're welcome to use it, I offer, being careful about my expression while Walt considers my words.
That's very nice of you, Griff,
Walt says warmly.
I guess it's up to Julia.
I wouldn't want to be any trouble,
she says, but her cheeks warm in a pink tint, and she lowers her chin to her chest to hide her embarrassment. It wouldn't be any trouble at all, Julia, I assure her.
They gave us the number for the home nurse to check on you,
Walt relents. I can tell he's concerned for his daughter's well-being, not that he's trying to keep her in the hospital without good reason, as she seems to have taken it. Overall, Julia's strength astounds me. Her attitude is always so optimistic. It doesn't surprise me she's finally at a breaking point.
Yeah?
She asks us both meekly. The fight seems to have left her. Yeah, Walt and I say simultaneously, and Julia rewards us with her beautiful smile.
I'll go get the doctor,
Walt says. The look of joy and relief on Julia's face calms the panic rising within me. She's going to be at your house. What kind of genius move is that for a guy who doesn't want to blur lines?
Julia. It seems like no time at all that the doctor approves my post-release plans. Dad goes home to pack an overnight bag of clothes and toiletries, while Griff sticks around to talk with the nurse about any warning signs of possible complications. With all the discharge paperwork signed, the nurse escorts me to the front exit via a wheelchair, and Dad gives me a quick hug and a kiss before helping me into Griff's car. He tells me to get some rest and that he'll see me sometime tomorrow. I watch Griff in the side mirror as he places my bags in the trunk of the car. They talk a moment, then shake hands. It feels more surreal than anything. I'll be at his house. Not just for a visit, but staying there. At least until my ribs heal more. This isn't a ride to work or sharing an office thing anymore. This is me all up in his space. His personal space. I blush at the thought of just how personal I'd like to get, if given the chance. No way do I want to make things weird between us, though. Griff is a nice guy. I have to constantly remind myself not to take his kind gestures the wrong way. It's a difficult thing to stay on task, as his scent embraces me now I'm shut inside his car. I inhale deeply while I have the opportunity, as Griff walks around to the driver's side. He climbs in, shuts the door, and buckles his seatbelt. With an almost nervous smile, he says,
Are you ready to go home?
He has no idea what his words do to me. Yes, I reply in a barely audible tone. Yes, I am.
Griff.
I really appreciate you doing this, Griff,
Walt says.
I feel like she'll be safer at your place than mine.
It's possible this Pete guy will continue to look for her. I'm not sure if the police have enough evidence to arrest him at this point, even if he does turn up. I think he's lying low for now, I tell Walt.
Again, I can't thank you enough.
I'm just glad I can help, I say. Walt holds out his hand, and I give it a firm shake before he walks away. I take a deep breath and get in the car. Part of me still feels guilty at the trust Walt has put in me with his one and only daughter, but more of me feels a mixture of excitement and nervousness at her presence, knowing we're about to be alone together in my house. The nervousness is almost comedic. I'm in my mid-30s, yet she has me fumbling about like a spotty teenager. Do you want music? I ask her.
Yeah, but maybe not as loud as usual. My head still hurts some.
She says. You set the volume then, I say, and we spend the rest of the ride listening to Bon Jovi's Slippery When Wet album. One of my faves, and so good to hear again. We pull into my driveway, and my nervousness immediately increases. I know it's ridiculous, but I can't control it. I figure Julia is probably nervous too, but I should be the one who knows what to do. I'm a confident man. I'm the CEO of an international company, for Christ's sake, negotiating multi-million-dollar deals all over the world. So why do I feel like an awkward adolescent around her? It's crazy. I glance over at Julia as I cut the engine, and the look she gives me mirrors my own. We both seem to share a nervous excitement. Part of me is excited at the fact that maybe, just maybe, Julia feels the attraction too. Another, more rational part of me wonders exactly how dangerous this arrangement can be. How long can a man contain himself? Surely my willpower is strong enough. I guess there's only one way to find out.
Julia. The car becomes silent once Griff cuts the engine. Even through my pain and discomfort, excitement over being here with him prevails. It means so much that Griff is willing to open his home to me. There's still a lot I don't know about him, and maybe being here will help to change that.
Don't try to get out by yourself,
Griff says, and he unbuckles his seatbelt and hurries around the car to open the door for me. It's hard for me to move into certain positions with these bruised ribs, so I have little choice in the matter. Once Griff opens the door, I swing my legs around slowly and place my feet on the ground. The next part's a little trickier. We try twice to have Griff hoist me up with our hands, but it's no use. The moment my arms feel any tension, my ribs burn like hell, and I pull back with a hiss. Griff frowns.
We're going to have to try this another way.
Yeah, that's not working. I agree.
I'll give you a moment to catch your breath while I take your stuff inside.
He offers. It must be obvious that I'm still in pain.
They gave you medicine.
I nod. Yeah, I'm supposed to take it with food, though. I feel like a pain in the ass already, and I'm not even out of the car yet, let alone through the front door.
Okay, we'll get that taken care of first.
Griff says, then he pops the trunk and walks around the car. He pauses, then turns back to me and says,
After we get you inside, I mean.
I smile through the pain. I know. I don't want to sit here all night while you feed me. I concentrate on slowing my breath until the pain becomes more manageable. If I don't inhale too deeply, I can at least deal with it. It's those sharp spasms that kill me every time. Griff returns and crouches in front of me.
All I can figure is to have you grab onto me, however is most comfortable for you. Is that okay?
He has no idea how okay that is. In fact, I nod and stay silent before I get myself in trouble and sent back to the damn hospital.
Ready?
Griff asks from only a few inches away. Yeah. I let out the one word and one word only. The closer Griff gets, the less I trust myself. He leans in another inch, and the earthy scent of his expensive cologne engulfs me. It's different than just being in the car or near him. Being so close, it intoxicates me with its potency, and before my senses stop reeling from it, he leans in fully, and our bodies connect at the torso. The shocks I get from his simple touches are nothing in comparison to the energy that shoots between us now. For a moment, I forget everything. Where I am, the pain I'm in, what I'm supposed to do. I just revel in Griff's touch. After a few seconds, it dawns on me that neither of us is moving. I try not to let my imagination run wild, that maybe a man like Griff could see anything in me. He probably just thinks I'm in pain, or weird, or both. I decide to make a move and try to figure out how to grab onto Griff without hurting myself any more than I have to. After a few more unsuccessful attempts, I lose it, and silent tears begin to fall down my cheeks.
Okay now, enough of that. Swing your legs back in there and watch your head.
Griff says in a low, soothing tone. I do as he says.
I got you.
Griff picks me up like I weigh nothing at all. In seconds he has me inside and lays me down carefully on the couch.
Is this okay for now?
Yeah, thank you. I'm sorry, I say with a sniffle.
Don't be sorry, Julia.
Griff says.
Please, anything but that. I already told you that none of this is your fault. Let me take care of you until you're back on your feet.
The damn tears start again. They're beyond my control. It feels like my fault, I confess. The tears flow, and soon it's an all-out cry. It sucks for many reasons, including my present company, but none more so than the pain in my ribs crying causes, which makes me cry even more. It happens so quickly, I hardly feel the movement, as Griff tugs me into his lap and lays my head on his chest. He rubs my hair and makes shushing sounds as he comforts me.
It's not your fault, okay? I promise you. It's that asshole's fault.
I manage to calm down from all-out sobbing to only tears again. What I don't understand is why he's going so crazy. I remember to control my breathing again to help ease the pain.
What do you mean?
Griff asks softly into my hair. I don't know. I mumble into his chest. It's just, there are literally millions, no, billions of women out there. Why obsess over me? It's a question I keep asking myself that I never thought I'd say aloud to anyone.
Julia, you may not know it, but you're pretty amazing.
Griff says in his low, sexy voice.
But he should learn to take no for an answer and move on.
My head still hurts, and my body feels the exhaustion of the last few days. All I can focus on is what Griff just said. I look up at him and meet his gaze. You think I'm pretty amazing? I whisper. Griff nods, his lips edging closer to mine. If I just lean a little closer, I can taste them. I move my focus from my mouth to his eyes, and I see it. It's not my imagination. Griff wants me too. Before I can overthink it, I act. My mouth leans in the last few inches, and my lips taste his. A feeling of warmth and contentment rushes over me initially, but that quickly changes to a fiery heat in my center. As Griff gently deepens the kiss, one thing becomes very apparent. There's no chance in hell I'll ever be the same after experiencing this man.
Chapter 11. Griff. Holy fuck. She tastes incredible, just like I knew she would. Sweet, like strawberries, sugar, and honey. I kiss her long, slow, and deep. It feels as though I'm one with her. I'm beginning to wonder if I might be. I'm torn in two. Half of me wants to stay just like this and greedily consume her mouth for every second I can. I want to ravage her, take her here and now on the couch, sink into her heat and claim it as my own. I try to calm that half down. Julia's surely in far too much pain already. The other half of me feels nervous, insecure, guilty even. And I wonder how I allowed myself to lose control when she offered her lips to me. I'm her boss, for fuck's sake. 13 years older, divorced, and worst of all, her father, a man I've employed for years, put his trust in me to look after her. And here I am on the very first day in my care, betraying that trust and my own integrity. I can't stop myself devouring her mouth. But with everything that just went through my mind, I know I must. I break the kiss before she does and breathe heavily. Julia, if we don't stop now, I won't be able to, and I don't want to hurt you. She stifles a sigh and says,
I know. Me too. I'm sorry, Griff. I shouldn't have done that.
She says coyly, looking anywhere but at me. Don't be. It's my fault for letting it happen. I could have said no, but I didn't, I reply. I rest my chin on the top of her head and begin to stroke her hair softly again while I think of something to break the palpable tension in the air. Listen, do you want something to eat? For your meds? She sighs.
Food isn't exactly what's on my mind.
And I laugh nervously at her response. I understand, but you need to eat, I say.
Yeah, I know.
By her tone, I bet her face is displaying some type of adorable pout.
I'm not really picky about food.
How about some choices? I try a different approach. Chinese, pizza, or something different?
Chinese.
She seems to perk up, and the awkwardness between us dissipates a little.
General Tso's chicken sounds pretty good.
See, that was easy. I say and pull out my phone, and a few moments later, the order is in. I'll have to go grab it soon. Is there anything else you want while I'm out? Julia shakes her head.
No, but I should get up and walk for a bit. Maybe to the bathroom?
She hints. Of course, I'll show you to your room. I gently place her on her feet, and it takes her a moment to stand. Once she's upright and steady on her feet, her steps are short, but she gets around okay. I already have her bags on top of one side of the bed, so she doesn't have to bend for them.
Thank you again, Griff. Your home is lovely,
She says, taking in her new surroundings. I'm just glad that you're safe. I'll be back shortly, I say, and shut the door behind me to give her some privacy. In the car, I sit for a moment and try to figure out a rational explanation for why Julia would kiss me. It's not that I'm upset that she did, quite the opposite. It's just her intentions, I suppose. What could I be to her?
Julia. Griff doesn't seem to mind that I kissed him, but I can't help wondering if I overstepped the mark as I overanalyze every word we said. Even if I did go too far, I would never take it back. He's a fucking good kisser. I've had boyfriends and crushes, even a handful of men I drool over on a regular basis, but somehow Griff dwarfs all of them. He's so different to anyone I've ever met before, and the connection I feel to him is unworldly. There's just no rational explanation for it. But then, love isn't rational anyway. I don't know what will happen from here, and that scares me. There are too many variables to know whether or not I'm going to get my heart hurt. Because whether I like it or not, my heart's in it now. Yes, there's a passion with this man. It's undeniable the way Griff makes me feel complete. It's like my soul found its mate. I frown at myself in the bathroom mirror. For better or worse, I've fallen for my boss, and fallen hard. I wish I had some clue of how things will turn out. It was almost better when I could pretend I didn't care. Only it turns out, I do. I really do. Griff returns quickly with the food. We eat in companionable silence while we watch TV. It's easier for my ribs when I lean back a little, and Griff's quick to suggest the sofa instead of the more customary table. When we finish, Griff insists I take my pain medicine. It doesn't take long for its effects to kick in, and my eyelids grow heavy.
Maybe we should call it a night?
Griff asks. I yawn. Yeah, maybe we should. I reluctantly agree. Regardless of how many things I want to do to this man, my body's just not up for it this evening.
Do you need help with anything?
Griff asks. I think just standing would be good, I say with a hint of embarrassment, since I don't like to ask for help.
Of course.
He leans down and lets me wrap my arms around him. Once I'm up, he holds me gently for just a moment and places a kiss on my head.
Good night, Julia.
The sweet gesture almost makes me melt. Good night, Griff. He waits until I'm down the hall before shutting off the living room light.
Just yell if you need anything.
He calls over his shoulder as he disappears into the darkness. I get ready for bed and ease myself into it. Though the bed is extremely soft, my ribs still pang in pain through the medicine. I toss and turn, slowly and deliberately, to no avail. I must drift off sometime around dawn, because the last thing I remember is hearing birdsong with the sunrise.
Griff. I peek in on Julia early after I wake up and drink my coffee. She's sleeping peacefully, and I decide it's best not to wake her. She needs her rest to heal, and at least she's not in pain while she's asleep. It's a situation I'm unprepared for. In every scenario I've considered this morning, I thought Julia would be awake. She's still not awake when I'm ready to leave for work, so I leave her a note. I end up writing 5 because I screw 4 of them into a ball and throw them away. Finally, I write something that doesn't seem totally stupid and leave it on the table next to Julia's bed. I take one more moment to admire how beautiful she looks before I pry myself out of the house and into my car. Something tells me it's going to be a very long day without her. I get to the office, but it's not as exciting as usual without Julia there with me. In fact, all I can think about is going home to her. That thought is like a slap in the face to my ego. I'm not playing house here. I need to remember my place. Surely Julia's kiss last night came from some perceived sense of duty from the caring attitude I've shown her, and nothing more. As much as I want to, I must stop imagining things that aren't there. No, I need to get through the day and remind myself when I get home that this infatuation is all in my head.
Julia. It's hard not to groan when I wake up. In fact, I do just that. It's not a stretch groan or a what a great sleep groan. It's a pain groan. The meds obviously wore off sometime while I was sleeping, and now it feels worse than it was yesterday. Having a pee is definitely the most pressing order of business. I make it to my feet and slowly stand until I'm straight. I make it to the bathroom without any further incident, and when I come out, I notice a slip of paper on the table by the bed that wasn't there last night, and it makes me smile when I realize it's a note from Griff.
Hey, you looked peaceful. I figured you needed sleep. Text me if you need anything at all. Otherwise, I'll see you later.
It's a simple gesture, but it means a lot to me. It means Griff was thinking about me. Sometimes that's all a girl can ask for. I make my way out to the kitchen and find coffee. I have to reheat it, but that's okay. I spot some bread on the counter and make some toast. Breakfast isn't my usual thing, but I need it for the pain medication, and there's no way I'll make it through the day without it. I finish the toast and take the coffee back to my room to take my meds. On my way, there's a knock on the front door. From down the hall, I see a definite silhouette lurking through the glass. I'm unsure what to do because, frankly, I don't feel comfortable answering Griff's door with him not home. Another knock, more persistent this time, and reluctantly, I approach the door. I don't want to get too close to it, so instead, I gently move aside a curtain from a nearby window to take a look out front. I see a couple of guys leaning up against an old SUV that looks a little too familiar. In fact, the guys look familiar too. Suddenly, it hits me. They're Pete's friends. My heart ices over and falls into my ass as I realize that's who must be knocking. How did they find me? I creep back quietly. For all I know, this is just some crazy, weird coincidence. Even as every warning bell sounds off in my head, I remain calm and quiet. I go to my room and lock the door, then do the same with the bathroom. Only once I'm inside do I pull out my cell. I try to text Griff because I don't want to interrupt anything important, but my hands shake too much. After 3 tries, I give up and hit the call button instead. Griff answers right away. At the sound of his voice, all my composure falls away, and I begin to cry. Even the rib pain can't quell the panic inside me.
Julia.
Griff's voice is instantly full of concern.
Julia, what's the matter?
I can barely speak. I hold my breath for a moment and try again. They're here. Pete's here with his friends. It takes me a second to realize that he has no idea what I'm talking about.
I'm on my way.
Griff says.
Get someplace safe.
I'm locked in the master bathroom. I tell him.
Stay there. I'll be there soon. Have you called the police, or do you want me to?
Griff asks. You? I say in a small voice, as I notice a figure outside the bathroom window.
Okay, I need to hang up. I'll be there in just a few minutes, okay? Just hang in there, Julia. I'm coming.
Griff promises. Okay, I whisper. Please hurry.
Griff. I don't usually drive like a maniac, but I break every traffic law possible as I make my way across town. Between speeding, cutting in and out of lanes, and dialing the police on my cell, I know I'm being reckless and breaking all kinds of laws. But right now, I couldn't give a shit. Only one thing concerns me, making sure those bastards don't get their hands on Julia. I dial Mac direct instead of 911, and he answers quickly. It surprises him to hear that Pete's at my house. Mac's been searching for him ever since the night Julia got hurt, to no avail. He promises to send backup and meet me there as quickly as possible.
Griff, if they're on your property, you have rights. Use them.
Mac disconnects. I hit the gas pedal even harder at the intensity of his words.
Chapter 12. Julia. It's difficult, but I manage to keep silent and still. Thanks to the blinds and curtains on the bathroom window, there's no way any of those assholes can see inside, but I'm not taking any chances. Time almost stands still as my heart pounds in my chest. It's the most predominant thing I hear, besides the occasional shuffling of leaves outside. The sound of an engine grows louder, and I know in my gut that it's Griff. I begin to worry. What if he's alone? What if they hurt him? Shit! A car door slams, and I creep quietly from the bathroom to the bedroom so I can watch out of the window. Griff practically leaps from his car. He's so angry. I've never seen him like this.
All three of you dumbasses, get the fuck over here now!
Griff yells loudly. Two of the three guys slowly come out from around the house. Neither of them is Pete. I glance at the bedroom door again and ensure that it's still locked. It is.
Where's the other asshole?
Griff asks the two loudly. One of them shrugs, while the other ignores Griff completely. Just then, I notice another car coming down the driveway. It's an all-black SUV, and to my surprise, Detective Mac steps out. It only takes a moment for my frenzied panic to turn to relief. Griff's certainly safe now.
Griff. I hear Mac pull in behind me and feel better. Only slightly, though, because I don't see this Pete motherfucker anywhere. I'm going to check the perimeter, Mac says when he makes it over to me. Here. He hands me a hard, cold object that feels heavy in my hand, and I realize it's a gun. Turning, he addresses the two delinquents before us. Police, he says, flashing his badge. If either of you try to leave, he's going to shoot you, understand? They nod quickly. Don't move. I'll be right back. More than anything, I want to rush inside, grab Julia in my arms, and make sure that she's okay. Only it's not safe yet, and I certainly don't want these two pricks going anywhere. Pete disappearing again is shitty enough. At least with these two morons arrested, maybe Mac can get some information on the douchebag. It takes Mac a while, but he finally returns. Looks like he's gone. There are some footprints in the dirt, so I can see where he went, but then he hit the pavement and the trail runs cold. Mac informs me. We'll pick him up. Meanwhile, these two are coming with me. Hey man, what about my car? One idiot asks. It'll be towed to impound. Maybe you can get it later. Depends on how cooperative you are in my investigation. Mac tells him with a mean smirk. Man, that's messed up, the guy says. But neither of them argue, and Mac herds them to his SUV, cuffs them, and throws them in the back. Mac reads them their rights and arrests them on trespassing charges with intent to harm. I'll send a tow truck for that. He motions to the car. Meanwhile, maybe you need to think about a hotel for a night or two. Thanks, Mac. I'll get us somewhere safe. I appreciate all of this. I try to hand him Mac his gun. Nah, keep it for now. I have more. Mac insists. I gotta go. I'll call you later. I nod and grasp his outstretched hand. Thanks, man. Mac takes off, and I finally make it inside. I check all the locks are set and that no one is inside before I find Julia.
Julia. I hear a soft knock on the bedroom door.
Julia!
Griff's voice calls out.
It's okay to come out now if you want.
I unlock the door to let him in. In moments, Griff holds me gently in his arms. It's then I realize I'm trembling.
It's okay, I'm here.
He murmurs into my hair.
It's a good thing you're still mostly packed. We're going to stay at a hotel tonight.
Oh, Griff. I instantly feel terrible for bringing my shit to his door. You have to let me pay or something. You've already done too much. He pulls back enough to look down at me.
Julia, no, it's my pleasure to help. I'm just glad you're okay, and my top priority is to keep you that way.
Tears fill my eyes. I'm so sorry,
Don't be sorry.
he reassures.
Now, let's get out of here.
In the car, Griff calls Bonnie and tells her he'll be working remotely for a few days. I text my dad to let him know what went down and that we won't be at Griff's. It surprises me when we reach the city limits and continue on. Where are we going? I ask.
Someplace safe.
We drive for so long, and at some point, I fall asleep. When I wake up, we're still driving.
Feeling better now? Are you hungry?
Griff asks. My stomach growls loudly at the mention of food, and we both laugh.
I'll take that as a yes.
Griff pulls into a diner soon after, and it feels amazing to stretch my legs.
How are your ribs?
A little better today, thanks, I say. I'm hoping I won't need the pain medication much longer. We sit in a booth, and I shift slightly to make myself comfortable. The idea of my ribs not hurting anymore makes me think naughty thoughts of other activities that won't hurt. Activities that excite the fuck out of me. Griff? I ask after we order. Where are we going?
I rented us a cabin after Mac's suggestion of staying away from the house. He thinks he might have a hard time finding Pete, and it's a good idea for you to be far away from town until he does.
Okay, I agree.
It's just going to be us for a bit.
Griff says, and I notice something burn in his eyes. That sounds perfect, I say softly, knowing he can see the yearning in my eyes too. Our food arrives, and we eat. Now that I know what's in store, I'm eager to move along. How much further? I ask.
Another hour or so, if the GPS is correct.
I grin. Can't wait.
Griff. It's dark when we get to the cabin, but a security light kicks on as we pull in. It's peaceful, and the weather is mild enough. I help Julia inside and grab our stuff. The cabin is more amenable than I expect. In fact, it has everything we could need. I'll have to find a grocery store in the morning, but since we already ate, and I'm sure the trip has taken its toll on Julia, I figure a decent night's rest is what we both most need. One thing about the cabin, though, is it only has one bedroom. There are other places to sleep too, but it's designed more for a family than anything. I quickly bring Julia's stuff into the bedroom. She glances around in confusion, and her brows scrunch deep as she asks,
Wait, is this the only bed?
Yes, but I'll take the futon, I say, motioning toward the living room. Julia rubs her hands up and down on her folded arms like she's trying to warm herself up.
That's just silly,
She chides.
You must be exhausted after that long drive. You'll sleep in here,
she commands. But you're injured, Julia, and you need a soft, comfortable bed to rest your ribs, I argue. She opens and closes her mouth. After a moment, she tries again.
Fine. It's a king-size bed. We'll split it,
she decrees, an innocent yet knowing smile tipping the corner of her full lips. I want to jump on the idea. I want to tell her that it's the best idea I've ever fucking heard. Only part of me wonders exactly how close to the flame I'm willing to fly. Are you sure? I manage to ask, hoping maybe she'll be the one to show some reason and restraint. Julia yawns.
Yes, I'm sure. I'm going to go get changed for bed.
She grabs a handful of things from her bag and disappears into the bathroom. It only takes me a moment to pull my gym shorts on. Ordinarily, I'd sleep with my shirt off, but tonight I leave the t-shirt on. It's going to be hard enough to control my libido all night with clothes, let alone without them. I turn off the overhead light and stand before the bed. Do I climb under the covers until the bathroom's free? Do I just stand around and wait? Why am I making such a big deal out of this? All the questions that pummel my mind suddenly cease when the bathroom door reopens and Julia steps out into the hallway. Her shorts and tank top cling to her small frame, and show off every dip and curve of her body. It takes every ounce of self-control I have to hold myself back. I can't deny it any longer, that's for sure. I want Julia. I want to make her body quiver in ways no man has before. I want to taste every part of her and feel her warmth. My hands clench and unclench at my sides while I watch her stride into the room. It's all I can do not to embrace her and show her the extent of my passion. She puts something back in her bag before she goes to the bed and turns down the blankets.
Are you ready for bed?
She asks, innocently enough. Pretty much. I manage to get out in a low tone. I just have to brush my teeth, I say, and walk down the hall to the bathroom. I look at myself hard in the mirror as I brush. What the fuck are you doing, Stevenson? But the other side of me, the one that's maybe falling in love with Julia, wins the argument, and I walk back to the bedroom. Julia eases herself down onto the mattress and smiles up at me.
Come on,
she says as she pats the spot next to her on the bed.
I promise not to bite. Too hard, at least.
She giggles, and the excitement within me is instant. I suddenly become aware of how noticeable my erection must be through the thin material of my gym shorts, so I climb quickly into bed next to her, hoping that just maybe her joke isn't a joke at all. I can imagine worse things than being bit by her. We say goodnight to each other, and she falls asleep quickly, but I remain awake for a while. I think about the events of the past couple of weeks, from the day Walt walked into my office to ask about the job opening until now. I smile at the memory of my first time meeting Julia, recalling every day since, and how she makes it a little brighter. While I wish she wasn't in the situation, I can't say I mind how closely it's brought us together. I'd trade it all for her safety, but something tells me this Pete guy would still be an issue for her, even without me in the picture. I think back again to Annabeth. Yeah, guys like that are dangerous no matter what. I'm just grateful I could intervene and keep Julia safe. She lets out a soft groan next to me as she rolls over. Her ribs must still be sore. I watch her and move a lock of hair out of her face. I'm not sure what fate has in store for us, but I don't think I even care. All I know is, I want to be with her.
Chapter 13. Julia. I wake up in a state of disorientation. It's warm and comfortable, but everything else is unfamiliar. When I open one eye, I see the source of the warmth and can't help but smile. Sometime throughout the course of the night, our bodies intertwined, and my head now lies on his chest, his strong, muscular arms wrapped around me. My hand moves involuntarily under his shirt, my fingers softly brushing his chest hair. It's the most incredible feeling ever. My leg is thrown over Griff's, and I feel a pulse on my thigh. It's big and hard and... Oh. Even though Griff's apparently still sleeping, one part of his anatomy is very much awake and alert. I shift my leg slightly to get a better feel of it. My ribs only hurt a little now, nothing like the first couple of days, and my body has ideas of its own. My hand drops down Griff's chest and over his firm abs to his huge, rock-hard dick, until I hear his breathing change. For a moment, I freeze, caught in the act and waiting for his reaction. I know there's a line I crossed right there, but I'm just too horny to care anymore. I want this sexy man so bad, and I'm sick of waiting. After a few seconds that seem like an eternity, Griff thrusts his hips upward and rubs through my grip. I take his move as an acceptance and pump my fist slowly up and down his shaft. He lets out a low groan. I glance up to see a carnal look in his eyes, and I know this is the moment where our dynamic changes forever. Attraction turned into flirting. Flirting turned into the most intense sexual chemistry I've ever known. Now, teases have become promises, and I've fallen so deep Maybe nothing will ever be the same, but Griff is worth the risk. I pull my hand back and sit up. It takes a little more effort than usual to remove my shirt, with slight pang from my ribs as I move, but nothing's going to stop me. I feel Griff's warm hand rubbing my back.
Julia, we don't have to.
Shh, now. Yes, we do. I interrupt. I lie back and expose my body for him. Griff hovers over me for a moment. I worry he'll change his mind, but he lowers his mouth to mine, kissing me gently and passionately. Then he breaks the kiss and looks into my eyes.
Are you sure about this?
He asks.
You know things will never be the same.
Surer than I've ever been about anything. I want you, Griff. I gasp out. I don't want him to stop the amazing things he's making my body feel. Griff lowers his mouth to mine again and kisses me deeply. His hand travels down to my hips and squeezes gently. I squirm as the tension builds between my thighs and will his hand to move lower. Griff's mouth moves along my jaw. His soft kisses and gentle nips on my ear and neck are driving me wild. His hand trails lightly upward from my stomach and finds my breast. I whimper as he tweaks my nipple, the intense sensation so pleasurable it makes me want him even more. His hand traces across my chest to my other breast and cups it, rubbing my nipple in the palm of his hand. His touch drives me wild and I buck against him. Please, Griff, I beg. Don't tease me too long. I want you. He pauses.
Is that what you think I'm doing? No, sweetie. I'm no college kid, and I don't want to rush this. Just lie back and be patient.
Griff slides from beneath the sheets, and my frustration grows as I watch him walk to the foot of the bed, his hard erections sticking out like a flagpole on Labor Day. My frustration is short-lived when I realize he's pulling my shorts over my hips, sliding them slowly down my legs, and the primal look in his eyes when they fall on my exposed pussy. He tosses my shorts over his shoulder like he's just claimed me. I'm his to do with whatever he wants, and I couldn't be happier. I lie before him completely nude and try not to let my self-consciousness get the best of me, but the anticipation of what he'll do next has me hornier than I've ever felt before. When Griff tugs off his shirt and shorts, I lose most of my cognitive function. The man is sexier than sin itself. Hard abs, hard cock, handsome as fuck, and I can't wait to get my hands back on him and feel his body pressing against mine. Griff, I say, while I wonder why he's just staring at me from the foot of the bed.
Julia, you're fucking amazing.
He says.
Just absolutely fucking beautiful. I need to taste you.
Before I can even think to respond, Griff pushes my thighs further apart and lays flat on the bed between them, bearing his face hard against my wet pussy. I scream out in delight from the incredible sensation of his hot tongue licking slowly up my swollen lips to my clit. I've had guys go down on me before, but not like this. There's no doubt he knows exactly how to push a woman's buttons as he laps at my slick folds like a cat that got the cream. His tongue finds every cluster of nerves and sends delicious chills through my body, and I feel the warm glow of an orgasm building inside me. The man's a freaking sex god, and I've no doubt we're just getting started. When Griff slips a finger inside of me, then two, I moan so loud, I'm glad we have no neighbors. He slides them gently in and out of me, while his tongue continues to flick my clit in a regular rhythm. My hips thrust against them, working with him as my orgasm continues to build. And just when I think my pleasure is at its peak, he curls up his fingers inside me, rubbing my G-spot, and my insides clench tight around his fingers as my orgasm spills over. My juices flood my pussy and trickle down my ass as I whimper in ecstasy, my legs trembling and my body shaking. Griff laps me gently before he pulls his fingers out and licks them too.
Fucking incredible,
he repeats.
You taste like honey.
Griff, I pant out as my climax subsides. I can't hold back anymore. My pussy is greedy for more of him. Please, fuck me now?" I beg. He growls and leans back on the pillow next to me, his short beard glistening with the wetness from my still throbbing pussy. His cock is rock hard and proudly stands straight. I've never actually wanted to suck a guy's dick, until now. I try to sit up and crawl toward him, eager to feel the smooth tip against my lips, but I wince in pain from the sudden movement. Griff gently pushes on my shoulders until I fall back on the bed.
"I want this to be all about you,"
he says, and before I can say anything, in one fluid movement, he's on top of me, and I feel him nudge his cock between my lips. Then he slips it slowly inside. I'm panting again, and he lets out a deep growl as we become one. So fucking sexy. His length and girth are a tight fit, but it's perfect. It feels amazing. I can't stop myself moaning as he moves his hips in torturously slow circles, and I can feel another orgasm building up in my core.
"God, you're so tight and wet, Julia. You feel incredible."
Griff groans. "So fucking deep." I gasp, my eyes wide in shock. Sex has never been so pleasurable, so connected, so pure. You feel huge.
"Does it hurt?"
Griff asks as he freezes. "No," I assure him, tightening my thighs around him. "Please don't stop," I say, grabbing his ass with both hands and pulling him tighter into me. I want all of him. Griff begins to pump his hips again, a little harder and faster than before, and my head rolls left and right on the pillow with every delicious stroke as I buck against him, and I come again.
"Griff, everything about this woman drives me to the brink. Her taste, her smell, her feel, everything about her is better than I could ever have imagined. My soul is lost. I'm drunk on her passion. I just can't get enough of her. When I slide into Julia's sweet, wet cunt, I swear I see nirvana. The connection we forge somehow expands even deeper, but the feel of her warm, wet pussy surrounding my cock fills my mind. One thought repeats itself over and over with every lunge of my hips. She's mine. I must make her mine. No doubt in my mind, Julia is meant for me. Somehow life has thrown us together, and the way I feel now, we fit more completely than I could ever be with anyone else. Ever. I try my hardest to keep myself from coming, but she feels so good, so hot and tight. No matter what I do, I know I won't be able to last much longer. The beautiful vision of Julia beneath me, her blonde hair cascading around her head, her skin glowing from her last orgasm, is an incredible sight. Her rosebud nipples point up at me, and I lean down to suckle on one while I continue the rhythm that has Julia tightening around me even harder, and I know she'll come again soon. I release her breast from my mouth with a loud pop and move on to the next as I rock into her harder and faster. She moans out my name and I feel her clench. As her wet pussy squeezes my cock again and again, she takes me over the edge with her, the muscles in my ass tightening as she milks every drop of cum from me. Julia looks up at me, a heady, lustful gaze from her hooded eyes. I see my future shine in her eyes. Somehow I know it'll all work out. I must believe that because in that moment I realize I can't ever be without her. I slip out of her, lie on the bed, and gently pull her back into my arms, and we both drift off to sleep, totally sated, with smiles on our faces.
Julia. This time, when I wake up, I know exactly where I am. The skin-to-skin contact between Griff and me is more of a comfort than I could ever have dreamt of. I try not to overthink the huge step we just took. For now, I just want to enjoy the moment. I relish in contentment while I wait for Griff to wake. I'd get up and make coffee, but I'm not even sure if we have any. I haven't been in a secluded area such as this since I was little, and Dad would take me camping. Back then we'd use tents, and we'd have to bring our own food, and I guess that's the same for cabins, too. Griff stretches momentarily, then his arms squeeze me gently.
Hey,
He says sleepily, "Hey." I grin into his chest.
you want some breakfast?
He asks, "Yes, please. And I need coffee," I confess.
Okay, let's grab a bite and find a grocery store.
He suggests. That sounds perfect. It doesn't take me long to dress, and it's even easier to get into the car today. I know my bruises will be tender for some time, but at least I'm no longer so immobile. It's nice to be out of the city. I wasn't aware of the stress I've been carrying until now. We drive toward the nearby town when a thought occurs to me, and I'm immediately worried. "Griff, do you think my dad is safe?" I ask.
I have someone I trust keeping an eye on him just in case, Julia. Don't worry.
Relief courses through me with his words. How considerate is he to have taken this situation into his own hands? I'm taken aback by his generosity, his caring, and I wonder what all of this means for us, for our future. Hey, Griff, you know what?
What?
You're pretty damn amazing, too, I blurt out. He just looks at me and gives me his sexy smile. I know we'll be okay. There aren't many restaurants in the small town, so we have a quick breakfast at a local diner before we find the grocery store. It doesn't take long to get a few things and be on our way. I try to pay, but Griff refuses, as usual. It's somehow endearing and yet mildly frustrating all at the same time. After all, I'm a grown woman, and I like being independent. But I also enjoy his chivalrous attitude. He makes me feel so loved. When we get back, I call my dad. We've only been texting, so it's good to hear his voice. Griff makes some calls too, and tells me there still hasn't been any sign of Pete. I'm not sure if this is good news or not. I still feel safe. Here with Griff. I know he won't let anyone hurt me. It amazes me the comfort being with him brings, and although I still barely know him, I feel I can trust him completely. Griff suggests we rest a little more, and we decide on a DVD and a cuddle on the sofa. I've had enough lying around in bed the past week to choke a damn horse, and I settle in next to him and enjoy some delicious downtime with the man I love. He plays with the ends of my hair while the movie ends. I watch the credits roll up the screen, and I feel him watching me. This morning was so incredible, and I can't wait to make love with him again. And it'll be all about him next time.
Chapter 14. Griff. My conversation with Mac earlier didn't do much to alleviate my worry over that little shit Pete. The guy has, apparently, disappeared from the city. It's not that hard to do. I mean, we did it easily, after all. I was cautious on our drive up to make sure nobody followed us. Very few people know we're even here. Most think Julia's out sick and on the mend, and I'm away on business. Still, I can't seem to shake this feeling that Pete knows where we are, that he's closer than I'd like him to be. Even if that's the case, I won't give him a chance. I tighten my grip around Julia as she lies beside me asleep. No, he'll never get close enough to hurt her. After a few days, it becomes apparent that Pete plans to lay low indefinitely, since no one has seen hide nor hair of him where he lives, or at any of the haunts he normally hangs out at. I decide it's time to sit down with Julia and see what she wants to do next. We can stay here for a while longer, but long term we have to live our lives without fear, so we need to figure out how to keep him away from you, I explain.
I thought that's what the police are for,
she says nervously, appearing confused with the situation. They can't arrest him if they can't find him or have any evidence against him. My concern is what happens to you if he finds you before the cops find him. Julia bites her bottom lip. She's completely unaware of it, but it's a look so fucking sexy I'd take her again if it wasn't for the seriousness of our conversation.
I don't want to put you out any more than I already have,
she says. I told you, I'm happy to help. I'm always happy to help you, I reply, and wrap my arms around her. Maybe it's time to talk about some other stuff, too. Julia, I know I haven't exactly laid my feelings on the line, but I want you to know I happen to care very much about you. She gives me a sad smile.
I know,
She says, looking down at the ground. What's wrong? I say.
It's just that I don't want all this to end. Not the Pete thing, that can be over yesterday, but us. You, me, I worry I'm not enough for you, and this is all temporary, you know? Like, we'll go back to the city, and it'll be like this never happened. Back to where we were, never touching again, and all this will just be a sweet memory. I don't think my heart could survive.
Her words astound me. I reach out my hand and gently lift her chin so I can look in her eyes. They're glistening, and I see tears welling up, ready to fall. Julia, you're so much more than enough for me, and I'm so grateful for every second I get to spend with a beautiful, sexy woman like you. She smiles, but the look of vulnerability in her eyes has me spilling secrets I never intended to. I'm still confused as to why you want to be with some old man like me, though. How come you haven't found someone your own age? Her tears are gone, and she throws her head back and laughs.
Old man, you're far from that, Griff. When I met you at the interview, I couldn't get over what a hottie you are. I was expecting your father. Now that's an old man.
A spark of hope ignites inside me. Then you're interested in more.
I am if you are,
She says softly, her eyes searching mine. I look back at her and smile. I definitely am, I say, and kiss her. Let's spend another week here while I have some extra security features added to the house for when we get back.
Are you sure?
She asks.
I don't want you to get cabin fever because you're sick of me.
Sick of you? Impossible, I assure her. We can figure everything else out once Pete's out of the picture. For now, let's treat the next week like a vacation.
Okay.
Julia agrees.
But I want to do this right. I'm sure you've thought about it, but I want you to know I'm not after your money, despite how this might look to the outside world. You're going to have to let me contribute something. Take it out of my paycheck if you want, but I never want to be a kept woman, okay?
Why does that not surprise me? I say with a smile. Once we get home, I promise.
Deal,
She replies.
Julia. Griff's words repeat in my mind. Not only does he want something more with me, to my utter astonishment, but his wording alone speaks volumes to me. Once we get home. Home? Like my home and his home? Our home? It's almost too much to think about. Not only is this incredible man generous, caring, funny, smart, and sexy as fuck, but he has immediately and without question opened his entire life to me. Never have I met someone, apart from my parents, who has put so much faith in me so quickly. It's more than the connection we share. It's the possibilities that he's open to. I try not to overthink it. Once I start down that road, it never usually ends well. Instead, I revel in it. Griff wants me. He cares about me. It's a huge start, especially considering I've completely fallen head over heels in love with him. The week goes too quickly. With my ribs almost healed, and the weather being cooperative, we see the local sights. Griff likes to hike, so we venture into the mountains and the forest surrounding the cabin. By the end of the week, I barely remember that the reason we came here was to hide out, and as Griff's car swiftly covers the miles back toward the city, I feel a peace I didn't know I was missing before. The first thing we do is stop in and see my dad, and after I give him a big hug, and he sees I'm all in one piece, Griff and I sit down to talk to him. He doesn't seem surprised in the least when we tell him Griff and I are now seeing one another.
Okay then, I'm so happy for both of you.
He simply says. That's it? I ask, as my eyebrow raises in disbelief.
Yep. What were you expecting? I don't know if you two thought people didn't notice the eyes you two have been making at one another, but I sure did.
Dad says bluntly.
Frankly, I'm surprised you held out this long.
Have you had any incidents while we've been away we should know about, Walt?
Griff asks, blessedly changing the subject.
No.
Dad shakes his head.
So far, things have been quiet.
Relief rushes over me. Maybe this all can just come to a nice, quiet end. Surely Pete can't care enough about me to face being arrested and serving time. No, he must be gone. We make plans to have lunch tomorrow, since it's Sunday, before we say goodnight. When we get to Griff's, Mac is waiting for us, and I get the impression that these two go way back. The guys get almost everything inside before Mac shows Griff the new security system features. I decide to wash off all the yuck that seems to have accumulated on me throughout our travels today, and I move toward the room I stayed in before when Griff stops me.
Julia, upstairs, first door on the left.
Then he goes back to listening to Mac. Of course, I wouldn't be sleeping in the guest room anymore. What was I thinking? I've never been up here, so I follow Griff's directions. His bedroom is kind of bare and beige, but it's warm and sunny, with a huge bed that looks so comfortable. I notice an open door in the corner and spot the bathroom. My shower plan is back in action. It feels heavenly to get clean, and I go back into the room and rummage through my bag for something to wear. Unfortunately, almost everything I have with me needs to be washed. I frown and turn to Griff's dressers. I doubt he'd mind if I borrow a t-shirt. I opt for the one closest to me and open the top drawer, but I don't see any, and it doesn't feel right for me to be rummaging through all his private stuff. Instead of looking further, I pick out the least smelly pajamas I have, throw them on, and head downstairs.
Griff. Julia comes back downstairs soon after I show Mac out and set the alarm system to arm it. She has a basket of clothes in her hands, and I show her where the washer and dryer are. I go into the kitchen in search of a takeout menu since the drive has left me with no energy to worry about cooking, and I walk toward Julia with a couple in my hand. From down the hall she notices me, smirks, and undresses. I think she's throwing the pajamas she was wearing into the wash, but the sight of her perfect naked body has me in a trance, and I'm not paying attention to anything else. Julia proceeds to walk, no, more like strut, down the hall to me.
What do you have there?
She asks, as though her walking around my place in the nude is perfectly normal. I recall the menus in my hand. Food, I mumble, unable to form coherent sentences with her next to me like that, a perky breast prodding my arm.
Okay. Hey, can I borrow a t-shirt?
She asks. I nod and follow her as she leads me upstairs by the hand. That peachy ass wiggling in my face with every step has my cock hard before we even reach the top. She giggles the entire way, and the sound of it just makes me want her more. By the time we reach the bedroom, I toss the menus on the dresser and move toward Julia, standing by the bed. Food be damned. She bites her lower lip, and I am done for. My cock throbs inside my pants, and I want her.
Not hungry anymore?
She asks coyly, putting a finger to her lips like a naughty schoolgirl. Not for food, I tell her.
I see.
She closes the gap between us and lifts my shirt.
You know, you're a little overdressed for the bedroom,
she says, undoing my belt buckle. She unbuttons my pants and strokes me through my underwear, my cock straining inside the fabric. I quickly disrobe and grab Julia, turning her around so her ass lines up to my dick. I use one hand to hold her head gently in place by her hair, while my mouth devours her neck. She moans, and I feel her tremble in my arms, knowing that spot drives her wild. Then I move to the other side, balling her long blonde hair loosely in my hand. I want her like I've never wanted any woman before. She purrs with delight, her hand reaching back to my ass, pulling me closer to her.
Julia.
Would you like me to fuck you now?
Griff's voice whispers gruffly in my ear. Yes, please, Griff, I beg. Before I can even close my mouth, Griff pushes me forward, and I fall onto the bed on my hands and knees. I spread my thighs wider, waiting. I turn to face him, and he's just standing there, staring at my ass and pussy, his pre-cum glistening on the tip of his cock.
You're so fucking beautiful, Julia,
he says. Then he climbs onto the bed with me and slips his hard, silky length into my wet, waiting cunt. I scream out in pleasure from the sudden exhilaration it brings as he fills me completely. The walls of my pussy stretch to accommodate him. So deep. Griff fucks me hard, and I love every second of it. His hands roam everywhere, stroking my back, my belly, my hips. One hand finds a breast and squeezes, rolling the nipple between his finger and thumb. The feeling is exquisite. He tugs gently on my hair, and I arch my back, bucking into him with each of his thrusts. Griff just holds me. Somehow it's the most erotic thing I've ever encountered, and I come quickly. I scream my pleasure as my pussy spasms on his thick shaft, with every wave of my orgasm washing over me. Moments later, Griff finds his own release, and gripping my hips tight with both hands, he explodes inside me and growls out my name.
Oh, God, Julia, you're incredible,
he says as we both collapse onto the sheets, his cock still inside me. That was amazing, Griff, I purr. He spoons me, wrapping his strong arms around me, and kisses my shoulder.
Something we should do again,
he jokes. Most definitely, I promise with a yawn. I feel sleep begin to take over, and I'm not sure if I'm awake or dreaming when I hear Griff whisper,
I love you, Julia.
Chapter 15. Julia. It's been a few weeks since we've been back, and everything has been surprisingly quiet. Griff is a little anxious tonight, because he has to go away on business for a couple days. He's concerned for my safety. He wants me to go with him, but I really have too much work to do at the office, and it's very important to me not to receive any special treatment when it comes to work. We don't really argue, and I understand his concern, but I'm a big girl now, and I don't want to be treated like some China doll. Griff, if anything bad were going to happen, don't you think it would have by now? I ask, in an effort to persuade him to calm his fears.
Maybe, but maybe not. And that's not a risk I'm willing to take,
he says stubbornly. I consider other options. There must be some sort of compromise. What if my dad stays here in the guest room? Then I won't be alone, and he'll get some bonding time and home-cooked meals, I suggest.
That's a really good idea.
Griff agrees. I throw my arms around him and give him a kiss. Happy? I ask.
Very much so.
He confesses.
I know your dad will keep you just as safe as I would.
Damn straight, I say with a laugh. He's got a lot of experience with it, you know. Griff laughs, and I feel better knowing he feels better.
I know,
he says. Griff's been gone for 2 days, and he's due back sometime early tomorrow morning. I told my dad not to worry about spending the last night here, partly because I think tomorrow morning could be incredibly awkward, and partly because it's been completely quiet and uneventful. I just don't think the danger of Pete is lurking about anymore. I eat some leftovers and watch a movie before bed. I decide to take a shower in the hopes my reunion with Griff requires freshly shaven legs. I grin as I shave, knowing, without doubt, it will. My phone vibrates on the nightstand in the bedroom. It's a message that he's on his last layover, and I text him back that I can't wait to see him and snap a picture of my wet, soapy, naked self to tease him with. Griff asks for more, so I happily comply. We go back and forth as I dry myself off until I tell him this is it, as I snap one more. Griff texts back quickly, just as I pull a nightshirt over my head and am slipping into my pajama bottoms.
Julia, get out of there.
Before I can text him back and ask him why, I notice something move in the mirror, and everything goes black.
Griff. I go from being an incredibly turned-on man in an airport terminal to a crazy one. The last picture Julia sent me has a figure behind her, and when I zoom in on the face, I make out Pete's distinctive features. I'm at my wit's end, unsure who to call first. I'm hundreds of miles away. Julia doesn't respond or pick up her phone, so I call Mac. Luckily, he's not far from there. I'm on it. Don't worry, man. I'll get her back safe. You get here as quickly as you can, he says. I dial Julia again and get nothing. My short flight doesn't leave for an hour and a half and takes another 35 minutes to land. I use my phone to search the drive time between here and home. It's only an hour and a half, so I grab everything I have with me and rush over to the car rental counter. I'll get home faster driving, and that's just what I'm going to fucking do. Sitting around and waiting to hear if Julia's okay will drive me insane. Less than 10 minutes later, I'm on the road. Don't worry, baby. I'm coming.
Julia. The place I'm in is small and dark. It smells moldy. It takes me a few moments to realize that it's a car trunk, and the car is moving. Whatever drugs are in my system have me very groggy. To my surprise, there are no restraints. My hands and legs are free. This gives me a small sense of hope. Either they thought I wouldn't wake up, or think I'm weak. If it's the latter, they have another thing coming. I'm not going down without a fight. I search around for something, anything to use as a weapon while the car is still moving, and I have the chance. At first, I search frantically and find nothing. I almost lash out in frustration and scream, but quickly remind myself that it's not in my best interest to broadcast the fact that I'm awake. Instead, I slow my breathing, like I did when my ribs hurt, and calm myself down. It dawns on me that I may be able to find a tire iron somewhere underneath me. That's a damn good weapon in my book. It hurts like hell to jam my arm under the trunk liner, but it pays off. My hand wraps around cold, thick metal, and when I tug, it comes with me freely. Not a moment too soon, either, as the car comes to a stop and shuts off. Now that I'm calm, the trunk turns out to be bigger than I first thought. I press my feet and body as far in as possible, leaving my right arm as much room as I can to swing. I quickly lie my head down and almost shut my eyes, peering through my lashes and pretending to still be out cold. The trunk opens. I stay still and remain calm. It quickly passes. With my one open eye, I see a shadow from the trunk lights as someone leans in. I know it's now or never, so I open my other eye, spot my target, and swing for all I'm worth.
Griff. I drive fast. And I don't give a fuck about doing it. By some miracle, I don't get pulled over either. The street signs tell me I have a little less than 30 miles to home. I push down on the gas harder and drive even faster.
Julia. Holy shit, I can't believe that worked. I snap myself out of it quickly and push Pete's prone body out of my way so I can climb out. Once I do, I don't stick around. I take off barefoot and in my PJs, down the road behind the car. I run until my lungs feel like they're going to explode and I can no longer feel my feet. The feet thing is okay, because the pavement hurt with every step. The lung thing sucks. My side begins to cramp, and my ribs even throb a bit when I finally slow to a jog. I'm about to become hysterical from fear that Pete will return when I see headlights coming toward me.
Griff. My phone goes off as I pull into the city. It's Mac, and I answer quickly. We found her, Mac says excitedly. Is she okay? I ask. A little shaken up, but yeah, she's okay. Thank God, I say with extreme relief. Mac tells me to meet them at the hospital, and I immediately change course. I'll be there soon, I promise, and disconnect. Fortunately, the traffic's light because it's late, so it doesn't take long. Mac must have told them to expect me, because they usher me right back into the private emergency area. It's not until I walk into the room and see her with my own eyes that I truly feel she's all right.
Griff.
Julia almost sobs and holds her arms out to me. Babe, thank God you're okay, I say as I hold her close. What happened? She tells me the story of how she got taken, and I fight to maintain my composure. Mac jumps in that Pete tried to track her, but to no avail. Wait, then what happened? I ask in confusion. She knocked Pete's dumbass out with a tire iron and took off, flagged down a car, and got to the police, Mac says with a hint of pride in his voice. If you ask me, Griff, this one's a keeper. I look down at Julia. You fought back, I ask. She nods.
There's only one man I'll tolerate having his way with me.
I laugh. That's my girl.
Epilogue. Julia. The last month seems to have flown by. My feet and ribs are finally fully healed, and today's an exciting day.
Is that the last box?
Griff asks. Yes, sir, I say in a voice I know will get a rise out of him.
You cheeky girl. You're going to pay for that later,
he says with a grin as he puts the last box in the truck and smacks my ass. I squeal, but don't argue. Little does he know how much I like paying for my antics. Griff hops into the driver's seat of the truck, and I get into his car. He asked me to move in with him officially a couple weeks back, and we're finally getting my stuff out of storage. It's a big step, but all things considered, I don't think it's too soon. Not with everything we've been through together. Now, I just hope our stuff meshes as well together as we do. I wonder what Griff's stance on pop figurines is. I guess I'll find out. As I was getting treated in the hospital, the police went back to where I'd smacked Pete upside his head and found him still lying on the ground. Turns out I gave him a pretty severe wallop after all. I chalk it up to adrenaline mostly. He was unconscious for a good few hours, then arrested as soon as he came to. They took him to the county jail when he was well enough to leave the hospital, and his bail application got refused. The police built a strong case against him, since it turns out not only is Pete a creepy stalker, he's a seasoned criminal too. Once the police began to dig, the charges began to pile up. The case is so strong, they don't even need me to testify against him to put him away. A huge relief on my part. I never have to see that motherfucker again. Pete ends up plea bargaining. With all the evidence and charges against him, he still ends up with over 30 years behind bars before he's eligible for parole. By the time he's out, we'll be elderly. That's if he makes it out at all. Somehow, I don't regret this experience. If it wasn't for it, I may not have found Griff, or at least things may not have worked out the way they did. Griff saved me in so many ways. He empowers me to be stronger than I thought I was. It gave me the strength to fight back against Pete. No way was I going to let that bastard take my time away from Griff like that. No way in hell.
Griff. I pace nervously while I wait for Julia to get home. One of the cloth napkins on the place settings is crooked, so I fix it. It's stupid, but everything has to be perfect tonight. If I thought I was nervous any other time in my life, it's been nothing in comparison to now. I hear the car pull into the driveway and light the candles. Then I stand next to her chair and wait anxiously.
Babe?
Julia yells out when she walks in. In here, I call back to her. The alarm system beeps back on, and Julia walks in.
What's all of this?
She asks. I grin. My anxiety disappears in her presence. She always has that effect on me. I'm not sure if you realize it, but today marks the 6th-month anniversary of you strolling into my office, I explain. Julia looks so happy at the revelation.
Really? I hadn't realized.
She studies me for a moment.
You remembered?
How could I ever forget? I reply softly. She wraps her arms around my waist, and I kiss her deeply before she nestles into her favorite spot in the crook of my arm.
I love you, Griff.
Julia says. I'll never get tired of hearing that. I love you too, Julia. I say into her hair. Now, let's eat before it gets cold.
You cooked?
She asks in surprise. I do on occasion, but the kitchen has become her domain. I ordered, I correct her. I didn't have that much time. She laughs.
I'm just teasing you.
I know, I assure her with a smile. I'll go get the first course. I hold her chair out for her and slide it in place as she sits.
Okay, we sure are fancy tonight.
She jokes. I stick to my plan despite my eagerness. First, I bring out the appetizer. I wait until Julia takes her first bite.
Wow, that's amazing,
she says. I'm glad you like it, I say. Oh, I forgot our drinks. I'll be right back. I excuse myself and make my way into the kitchen. It's go time. Now or never. My nerves almost boil over again when Julia's voice calls out.
Is everything okay, babe? Do you need help?
No, I quickly tell her. I'm good, I'll be right there. I make quick work of the champagne cork and pour it into 2 tall flutes. Julia's glass clinks. Inside it is an engagement ring. I hope like hell she accepts. I steady my trembling hands, take a deep breath, and return to the dining room. It seems Julia has waited for me to return before she continues to eat. I set the glass down in front of her.
Thanks, baby.
She smiles up at me. You're welcome, I reply, and slip into my chair. I wait patiently for her to notice, but she goes back to eating.
This is so good,
she says. I scramble for a way to make her notice the ring inside her glass. It is. Hey, how about a toast, I suggest. Julia swallows her food and raises her glass next to mine. She looks at me and smiles, her eyes sparkling in the candlelight, then down to her glass. I look at the expression on her face from the corner of my eye and wait for a reaction while I take a sip from my own. It's not until Julia raises her glass to her lips that she notices it. Her eyes narrow and a frown appears momentarily on her brow before a big beaming smile appears on her face.
Griff?
Yes, babe, I say nonchalantly.
There appears to be something in the bottom of my glass,
she says. She stares at it, and I can tell by her expression that she's happy. I use the moment to drop to the floor beside her on one knee. Julia, my life is so much better with you by my side. It's my hope you'll stay there for as much time as we both have. Julia, will you do me the incredible honor of becoming my wife? Tears pour down her cheeks, but the smile on her face glows with its intensity.
Yes, Griff. I would absolutely love to marry you.
She agrees and launches herself at me.
Let's forget dinner for now.